Hello, welcome to the stream. Let me see, let me tweet and such things. There we go, I think. Alright, post. Sure. Post. Twitter and Blue Sky. I'm hoping to, like, slowly move over. Like, more people need to post on Blue Sky, is the way that works. More people need to do that. Because the more, like, I know there aren't a lot of people on Blue Sky yet, but there will be. But right now there's very little incentive, because most people still mostly post on Twitter, or they double post, right? But we need more Blue Sky original content. Some things I double post, but a lot of things I only post over on Blue Sky. And more people need to do that. More people need Blue Sky exclusive content to try to get more people over. Because if everyone's just double posting, people will still just be like, oh yeah, I'll still just stay on Twitter. So, you know. Okay. But yeah, so we're playing Medieval Dynasty tonight. Which, okay, so, I last played it August 2023, I think. So it was a long time ago. Over a year, a little over a year. Well, that's when I last streamed it, right? When I last streamed it. I've been playing it because I love it. It's one of the relax and chill kind of games for me, right? That's why I decided to play it tonight. It's like there are a lot of other games I could play, and I was like, you know what? Let me just, since I'm feeling a little bit worn out from spooky season, was a lot. I'm like, I need to do something easy, something kind of relaxing, something that's not spooky. Because there are I feel like Slay the Princess could be a kind of nice, relaxing game. I'm not ready to revisit yet though. But I was like, it could be a nice relaxing game, you know, a little not too demanding, and I need something like that. And I'm like, you know what? The most relaxing game of all is Medieval Dynasty. It's just such a chill game. At least for me, it's just a very comfortable game, very easy to play for me, and I really like it. So, but I've been playing it for the past year, right? On my other account. And I've tried the multiplayer, right? I was playing that with my brother, and I really like that too. I really like this game is really fun multiplayer as well. Though you can't play the story mode route, right? It's a whole different world, which is really nice to have a brand new map too, because you know, just having one map can get a little bit tiring, but having a second map is really fun. To, you know, explore around and try out new settlement locations and things like that. But I've also started up, you know, a couple of my own on my other, but I had to start new ones, right? Because when they made the update to the game, where I think when they introduced multiplayer, maybe? Was that after I played or before? Anyway, there was something they introduced, some sort of update that they made, where it completely re-erased all the old save files, right? So all my old save files, at least on my other account, and I thought this one too, were gone. So I had to start brand new and start from scratch. But I just checked now before stream, and I was like, oh, my save is still there for some reason. I don't know if they managed to restore the saves, if it was just like a temporary thing for, I don't know, probably a few months while they switched stuff over. I don't know. But it's there. So I thought for sure I'd have to start over again, which was part of what was hindering me from going back in and playing it, because I was like, do I really want to start all the way over again? Like, I spent 4, I think, streams playing this game, and I was like, I don't know if I'm ready to start brand new with this game. You know, do we really want to go through the bother of, you know, those initial days of starting our village, building our house, you know, romancing a new wife, you know, like, do we really want to go through all that again? And I was like, I don't know. Does anyone, you know, I mean, it's been a while at this point, but at least definitely last year it felt like, don't know if it's worth starting over from scratch. I mean, that'd be worth it, but I was reluctant to do it. But we don't have to. However, the downside is I did not realize this until right before stream. So I have not fully rewatched. I've kind of skipped through, but I have not fully rewatched the VODs from this playthrough. So I have no idea what we're doing. I have no idea. I remember there was a field right outside my house that had a pretty view, because I used that for a thumbnail. And were there 4 or 5 previous streams of this? I forget. They're on my YouTube, all the VODs. So if you want to see what led up to whatever point we're starting at today, you can go check out the VODs on my YouTube. And there's a Medieval Dynasty playlist as well, to make it easy to find them. But we're in winter of year 2, so we've almost done 2 whole years of this, but which moves that sounds like in Stardew Valley terms it's pretty far in. In Medieval Dynasty terms, it is not. So yeah, but I kind of forget exactly what we were doing, what was going on, where we are quest-wise, how many villagers we have, what tasks I was kind of supposed to be doing at the time, what were my dreams and ambitions and my goals. Who knows? I have no idea. I think we might have just recently had a baby. Maybe. But maybe that was a while ago. Or maybe we didn't have a baby yet. I don't really know. I don't remember, which is a concerning thing as a father, but I don't know. It's like a Rip Van Winkle situation, right? I don't remember. So we're gonna be a little bit confused today, starting out for a little while. But that's okay. Sometimes that happens. Sometimes that happens in games when you don't play for a really long time. Okay, so let's get into the game. Let's pause this music. I already have the game up, so we should all be ready to go. Let's switch over to the scene. Yeah, here we go. Ta-da! Although I'm not sure. Maybe we'll turn up a little bit. Sorry, I know. I can't, the mixer audio doesn't play when I'm tabbed out, so I have to just real quick see where the volume levels were. I think this is good, maybe. I don't know, we'll see. Okay. Sorry, I'm just trying to like stealthily look at my mixer from here. Okay. I know. Two monitors would be great, but I'm stubborn. I don't want to set up because I just don't like the amount of desk space it takes up, right? Again, I like to write, and it'd be different if I had a writing space and a streaming space separate, but I don't. And I don't like to write with a bunch of screens and monitors around. Ideally, I want as little of that as possible when I'm writing. So, okay, I think we're okay, and that feels like it's about kind of loud. So, although it's also a little bit loud for me. Oops. Sorry, hold on. I know this is no fun. Okay, alright. We're gonna say it's good enough for now. Okay, see, Stream House. Here we go. There's the save. And I was like, wow, I didn't know that save was still here. Created 8/16/23. Yep, there it is. When did I make this one? 7/22/23. Winter year 4, because this one's farther through. Okay. How'd it get so far in? What even is this? I guess I played for a while to test it, I guess? I don't know. On the 16th. Is that really when it was created? Because I thought I played this in... I streamed it in July, I thought. Anyway, I don't know. Pretty sure this is our house, so... It says stream house, so obviously it must be it. I don't know what the forest house is supposed to be. As though any of these houses I have built in this game are not in the forest. It's all the same location. I guess there's some spots that aren't forested, but why would you want to build in a non-forested area? Okay, so yeah. So once again, I have no recollection of what we're doing. We will just have to see. Oh, is my... Oh. We're lagging. Okay, hold on. Telling me a lot of things. I wonder if we're loading into the game if it'll be better. No. It's very concerning. Okay. Because this game used to run fine. So maybe they improved the game, and now it's impossible to actually run. Oh wow, my mouse is really weird too. Oh, this is awful. Okay, hold on. Why does my mouse feel? Oh, I hate it. Okay, graphics. We need to change this down. Let's just preset. Can we? No. God, no. Can't do. Okay, okay. Accept changes? Maybe this will be better.
Have you ever done any quest for the king?
Is this better? Does my model actually run okay now? No, I'm still lagging. Oh no. You gotta be kidding me. I can't play this? What has changed? Is my computer just that bad now that I can't play games I could play a year ago? I don't understand. Is it VC face that's the problem? Do I have... I don't know. I might change my resolution in VC face, but I'm only 24 FPS. It's not like it's that crazy. Try low. Low. This will be awful, but... It's gonna work now. Let's see. Oh, I still can't. Man, I'm so sad. I can no longer play any games I want to play. What am I gonna do for a subathon in December? I was relying on this game because it's a game I can play for hours. Hold on, let me at least exit the game while I rant. Oh no. Oh no. So upsetting. I'm still lagging. Really badly. Okay. Okay, we're better. All right. That makes me really sad now. I don't know what I'm going to even play in December anymore. What am I going to play? I was really relying on this. I don't know what I'm supposed to play for like 12 hours a day. I mean, I only think if I do a subathon, it will last. Have to be very generous. Like if you follow, it's 3 more hours or something, right? Because like, let's be real, I'm not going to be getting crazy numbers for a subathon. But like, even then, I was like, okay, well, I have like a week, a little over 10 days maybe, that I can do a subathon for. But you know, I realistically, even with generous numbers, it'd be like 2 or 3 days. Let's be real here. I'm not expecting to, be able to pull a month-long subathon or anything, even with generous. But But even then, like, be tied to the VRAM show up enough for possible antivirus. What do you mean an antivirus thing? I don't have extra. It's not like I have Norton or McAfee or anything. I don't have any extra antivirus software. Um, uh, I I don't know what it is because it worked a year ago. But a lot of games aren't working. Doll Imposter did the same thing, and then of course the new Life is Strange game couldn't work. It might be something on VC Face's end as well. They might have upgraded things, that make it difficult now, as well. So, because I don't know what they've changed. I know they've made some changes in the past year too, so could be that. Um, and it could just be general, uh, like other background processes on the computer, right? I might have more of those that are weighing down. Well, I don't know. It's probably not a CPU issue, right? It's probably a graphics issue, I'm assuming. Um, but I mean, maybe it's a CPU issue. I don't know. Um, so yeah, so I don't know. And for subathon, I don't know what I would do because I have like 12 hours a day I need to fill up, and I don't know. I don't have a game I can play for that long. um, not a game I can play like by myself for that long. Can't be entertaining that long with a lot of other games, and I don't know if I can switch between games. Oh no, no, having a little crisis here. um, hmm. Whatever, that's fine. Okay, I need to focus for now. One thing at a time. One thing at a time. What are we gonna play tonight? Now, what are we gonna play tonight? Need a new game. Need a new game. Um, 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 um. mm, What game do I even want to play? I don't know. I don't know. This was kind of like my I don't have a game I want to play, so I'm gonna play this. Oh no. Um, um, mm, let's see. Uh, Reika? Do I want to play more Reika? I don't know. Because that one, the game just doesn't look good. I know it could look really pretty, but I think I have to play that one on low graphics as well. And it doesn't look as good. That one isn't really good for right around now. I don't know. I really don't want a spooky game. I wanted something that wasn't spooky. But almost all my games are they're almost all horror games. Looking through More Fears to Fathom, Shinkansen Zero Parasocial, Welcome to the Game, Fears to Fathom 5 Years Old. I already played all those recent games. Immortality Demonologist. Those are again games I played on stream. Witch Hunt, Spectator, Graveyard Keeper, Orwell, Silent Breath, Project Dark. God, why did Yomawari, Killer Frequency, Mask of the Rose, but I want to play the other game before I play that one. The Thaumaturge, which I could play. I don't know that I don't know that I want to. Storyteller, we could play that one. Kind of like a puzzly game, but I feel like it might frustrate me. Uh, Quarry, Forewarned. Really want to try Forewarned, but I don't know. I have this. I don't know if that one's gonna work out. Dark Pictures Anthology, Erica, Observation Duty 3, Card Shark. I want to play another time. I'm not really into that one right now. The Room Game, Strangeland, Secret of Retropolis, Corpse Party. Um, Children of Silent Town. Again, they're all Baldur's Gate 3. I don't know about that one right now. I'm feeling that one might not go down well. Forewarned is good with friends. Never tried the update. Oh, I don't have friends. So I play everything by myself, which I think you technically can. Um, so uh, a Simulator, Chernobylite, The Tenants. I don't know if that is fun to stream though. Unheard. Um, See, a lot of these aren't fun. I don't even know some of these. I didn't look into them before stream, so I don't know. This doesn't look fun. Simulacra. Some like dating sims. I always think dating sims are fun when I watch people stream them. I think it's really fun, especially like, but you need like a bigger chat for that, right? Because like, you need chat participation in the dating sim. That's what makes it fun. But no like big streamers I feel play them enough, and I don't have a big enough chat too, so it's kind of a downside. I don't have enough because I like a lot of like city builder games, but those aren't fun to stream. Um, I mean they're fun to stream, they're not fun to watch. Dead Secret, The Gaslayers of Fear, I played some of those already. Oh, Dead by Daylight's a classic. Fallout, Rambo, Shadows Peak, Amnesia, they're all never mind. Keep Talking Nobody Explodes. I love that game, but I never have anyone to play it with. Um, but I love it so much. Such a fun game. Sunless Sea. That's the one I need to play before I can play Mask of the Rose. Right, right. That's the one. That's its name. It had a name. uh, these are of course just the games that I have, but um, yeah, they're like mostly horror games. To play something. A lot of these are games I have. Now I'm getting down the games I have played. Um, Little Inferno. I guess that one's technically a horror game as well. To the Moon. Um, let's see. Skyrim. Wow. Final Fantasy 7 and 8. What else do I even have? Witcher games. I've never really BioShock, Portal. Um, hmm. It's like way out on the bottom of my list. Let's see. What's in the Steam store? What have we got going on? I wanted to try to get the Sims set up, but God, setting up the Sims now, as I had to move the Sims to my external hard drive because it was taking too much room. I'm sorry, Vampire Therapist? Hold up. Oh yeah, Lemon Drop. I remember you. Hi, welcome back. Yeah, number one's fighting now. Let's see. Guide vampires through centuries of emotional baggage, decades of delusions, and the odd bout of self-loathing with real cognitive behavior therapy concepts, and become a vampire therapist. Even vampires need a shoulder to cry on when a neck to bite just won't do. Um, um, I'm intrigued, a little confused. Vampire Therapist is a narrative adventure slash therapy simulator in the vein of, and that's a pun, intentional, of What We Do in the Shadows, Young Frankenstein, My Dinner with Andre, and Horrible Histories, where you play as a reformed bloodsucker helping other vampires find inner peace. You've seen someone play it, it's interesting. Oh, Matthew Mercer's in it. Surprise! That's how you know it's a real game. Um, okay. Well, I mean, I don't know. I would say if Matt's voiced something in it, that leads some credence, but I don't know. At this point, I feel like Matt Voice is everything that could be crap. Who knows? I don't know. Um, I guess. I don't know. Caught my eye. Okay. Sure. Let's try it. Let's try it. Since I could use some therapy based on my disappointment not being able to play one of my favorite games anymore on stream. I'm so sad. Okay, add to cart. Hopefully this works. I'll be sad. View my cart. Oh, right. I had Liza P in my cart as well because it's on super sale. It's like 40% off, which is it's a nice percent off. But hey, Matt, but we'll, I guess remove Liza P. Bye-bye. Um, uh, and then this makes new name frustrating. Well, I feel like that's most video games. Anytime they deal with any sort of, you know, a lot of stuff. I mean, I guess this is explicitly talking about psychological things, but I guess we can try it and see. Has good reviews. So, um yeah, whatever. I wanted something non-spooky. This isn't quite as non-spooky as I wanted. Let me look a little bit deeper into the store. This was literally the first thing Steam threw at me. They were like, "Hey, you should play this." Probably shouldn't be quite so easy. Dread wait. Is this the same people that did the cooking game? Because the art, yeah, it is. It is. Okay. I was like, the art looks very similar. Okay, I'm got it. I was right. I was like, this whole setup looks just like Cooking Companions. I would do Shadows of Doubt, but I feel like we got to start over with Shadows of Doubt because too many things were glitched, and I don't know if I'm ready to deal with glitchy things right now. Which is why I also didn't get The Sims up in time because I have to re-download all my mods for it since it's obviously been several updates. And even then, it wasn't working over the summer after their summer update, that one July update. And and since I'm working off with the Sims off of my external hard drive now, that's also an extra challenge. Steam games are really easy to boot up from an external hard drive, but of course, the Sims, you're playing out of the Origin app, and that can be a little tricky. Okay, Vampire Therapist. Let's install this. Let's go. Um, change our game. Um, I hate that streams have titles. Can I just say that? I don't know, man. Um, I hate stream titles. I don't know. Sure. Let's try. I kind of don't want to play this game now that I'm typing it in. Hold on. Do we have something else to play? I just, man, I was so hoping to play Medieval Dynasty. I'm just not ready. I'm not ready to have to play something else. Um, I don't know. I don't know. What are non-horror games even anymore? I don't know. Um, um, I know I'm like so scared to play any games. Um, because I'm like, can my computer handle any games anymore? Ugh. Um, 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 hmm. Maybe we should just play Shadows of Doubt. I don't know. I don't know if I'm ready for that. Man, I am so sad. I am so disappointed in my computer lately. I am so disappointed in my computer. What about Scarlet Hollow? It's like more mystery, right, than horror, so it's still a little on the spooky side, but I kind of don't want to play it. Mm, maybe we should just play more Reika. I don't want to though. I'm just so frustrated right now. I don't know. I should have had I didn't think I needed a backup for Medieval Dynasty since I played it so much before. I didn't realize that I can't play it anymore. I didn't realize things changed. Didn't realize. Um, um, I'm assuming then Sengoku Dynasty won't work. Um, maybe I should just play this game. Um, I don't know. I don't want to like have something difficult or like that's hard to learn or something. Um, I'm just wasting time now. I'm sorry. I don't know what to play. Uh, um, 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 I don't know. Mm, I don't know. Let's just um um. So do we want Scarlet Hollow or do we want Vampire Therapist? I will choose between those. I don't know. About like tax evasion. Um, I don't know. Um, um, um. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Like Reika's good, but I think I have the visual settings turned down really low, and like watching the playthrough again wasn't playback of it. My VOD wasn't very great. And what Reika is, yeah, that's the only other game I've started recently that we haven't kept playing. Um, and it's the clips weren't doing well with it, and I don't know. So, Vampire Therapist or Scarlet Hollow, those are the ones we're gonna choose between. Um, um, hold on. How long is Vampire Therapist? Time to beat Vampire. Oh, it's actually longer than I thought. 8 hours. Time to beat Scarlet Hollow is. Yeah, it's by the same people. It's like a visual novel type of thing, by the same people who did Slay the Princess. But there's different episodes. So each episode is around 2 hours, so it's about 8 hours as well. It's like you go to an old mining town or something and there's a mystery. I forget the details. Um, let's do that one, I think. Vampire Therapist feels like it'll be too much like coffee talk, which I did not really enjoy. So let's do Scarlet Hollow. I don't know, man. Okay, whatever. Okay. Whatever, I guess. I'm so mad. I'm so frustrated that I can't play Medieval Dynasty. That's a staple. That's like I know a game I'm comfortable with that I could play for a long period of time and not get tired. So sad it doesn't work anymore. That like is so disappointing. And actually I'm like very concerned now if I can even stream The Sims. Actually, I don't so many games don't work anymore. I'm so sad. I am so sad because I can't even play it on low quality was the thing. Like I had been playing it on high and then I go down to stream it on low and it still doesn't work. It's got to be something on VC Face's end. Like it's got to be because the game doesn't want glitches, right? It's the model that glitches. So and it doesn't feel like it's got to be a CPU. Maybe I don't know. I literally have no idea what the issue is. Okay, let's pull this game up. I'm so frustrated. So sad. I need a new computer is clearly the issue. Um so I need too many things. Um but I want like a lore video, which I can do if I just learn how to draw myself, but I don't have that sort of time. This is a horror game, not intended for all audiences. You won't be able to save everyone. You might not be able to save yourself. Okay, sure, whatever. Okay. Wow, it's got a weird resolution. That's nice of them. Have they considered making the resolution be the same as a normal screen? Because that would just be a cool idea. I don't know. I'm not a game designer, but I think it'd be neat if the resolution were like, you know, correct for full screen. But again, not a game designer myself. What do I know? Yeah, let's just make it be weird. That's fine. Why not? Okay. Wow. I didn't even get to reopen the game. I just switched scenes and the game crashed. Let's try again. Since when did my computer get so bad? Yeah, I don't know what resolution it's like the correct resolution to take into account the bar at the bottom of the screen, right? And it's like that's great, but oh, cause it's not full screen. Hold on, let me get into the game. Maybe I can change the resolution. Download additional RAM. I have no idea what. I mean, I did re-download The Sims today, but I downloaded it to an external hard drive. It shouldn't be an issue. Okay. Preferences, I guess? Is that, yeah, okay. Full screen. There we go. Okay, that's our correct resolution anyway. Alright. Let me go back in and change this. Oops, no. Why is it doing that? This, please. Depending on the transfer speed of the external hard drive. Yeah, but it shouldn't be an issue because I'm not running The Sims right now. Just should be just chilling on my external hard drive, and I can unplug it. There, go away. I don't know if that's gonna change anything. Why does this look different? Whatever. Whatever, I don't care. This is really loud too, wow. Oh! It did it again! As soon as I changed the scene, it crashes. Yeah, see, these games aren't on the drive. They're all on my computer's hard drive. Crashes when it loses focus. No. It crashes when because I pull the game up and then I tab out of the game into OBS and then I go into studio mode, enter my background scene, change the game capture to that, then move back, go out of studio mode, and then switch to my stream scene that uses the the background scene as a mirrored source in the stream scene. Because I also use the background scene for uh the blurred color for the overlay for the dynamic lighting of the model. So I don't know why that's happening. So that's super cool. Uh, hmm. Great. Okay, not that game. I'm so sad. Okay. Uh, Vampire Therapist, I guess. Oh, I'm so frustrated. Yeah, well, apparently not good enough to run. I don't even know what the issue is. I didn't even pull up the game. I just switched to it being captured. It might be on OBS's end. Maybe. I don't know. Okay. Okay, let's see if the vampires will behave. Alright, let's switch again. I'll need to also change the... I'm gonna wait to change my game category, though, until I know it'll work. Okay. Look! Okay, look! We have the game pulled up. The game is up, and I am moving, and it's good. It's all good so far. Okay, thank you, Vampire Therapist, for solving our problems. Alright, let me change this. Whatever. I'm so frustrated. I don't know why it's like this. And I'm so sad that I can't play the games that I want to play. Now, to be fair, I do have some at least one OBS update that I have been postponing for months. Maybe that will solve the problem. I don't think it'll solve my Medieval Dynasty problem, which is the worst problem of them all, but, you know, it's whatever. I think this needs to go up. The volume, I mean. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see when we play. Settings. What settings do we have? Graphics, Ultra. You know, we'll try Ultra. Let's go. We don't have any issues so far. Yeah, whatever. Sure. Alright. New game. What are these? DLC? Vampire Therapist explores or touches on sensitive topics such as war, abuse, addiction, sexual oppression, suicidal ideation, religion, and of course death. These may be uncomfortable or upsetting for some readers. We recommend that readers with a history of trauma related to any of these topics approach this game with caution. Naturally, a game about vampires will also involve blood and sexual themes. Naturally, they're not necessarily sexual, but okay, strong language is also present. Vampire Therapist was developed in consultation with licensed therapists, but it should not be considered a substitute for therapy unless you're a vampire. Okay. I think it's very interesting that they think vampires are inherently sexual. Because I don't know that they are. Because Count Chocula is not inherently sexual, and the Count from Sesame Street is not inherently sexual. So I don't think vampires have to be inherently sexual. Just saying. But that's fine.
My name is Sam Walls, and I'm a dead man.
Okay.
Well, kinda dead at least. See, I'm a vampire. Now, if you think that means all that Dracula hooey, like hissing, wearing skin-tight leather, and hunting mortals for sport...
Well, just because the vampires are lewd doesn't mean they all have to be.
That's exactly the sort of thing I did in my younger
They
years
said,
with
like,
my former
obviously,
gang.
since it's
Let me
vampires,
tell
there's
ya, a
blood
vampire
and
who's good
sexual
with a gun
themes.
can be a real terror.
Obviously, there's blood, but
I
blood is
got lucky,
inherent
though.
in
I met
vampires.
some kind mortals
But
who saw
sexual
beyond my
themes are not
fangs.
inherent in
They taught me my
vampires.
letters and showed me how my thinking was keeping me from finding any kind of peace.
But I guess the blood is not inherent in either the Count
After
or
they
Count
passed on,
Chocula.
I roamed America's majestic
So,
wilderness for nigh on
but it's
90
implied,
years,
because that's literally
figuring
what
out
makes a
myself and
vampire.
what it
But
means to be a
vampires don't
vampire.
have to be sexual.
And I found revelation. What I realized was, it ain't fangs that make us monsters. It's the self-defeating ways we think.
This
Anywho,
reminds me of a
as the world
novel
started
that I
getting
worked on for
smaller,
NaNoWriMo
my
about
old
10 years ago.
vampire gang tracked me down. Them being my kin, I wanted to help them see the world like I did, but they still have the same
about a
monster
guy who
mindset I used to have.
Helped
Good thing I'm a quick draw.
different mythological, like magical kind of creatures, like dryads and werewolves and stuff.
Found a vampire who's helping my
Ran like a
kin find
halfway
their
house
way.
to help
Fella
them
named Vandromakos,
like
supposed to be
acclimate
3,000
to
years
human
old.
society.
He invited me to come out to Europe to learn from him. I figure someone older than time has got to have the answers. I'm going on a trip, I guess. This feels like my opportunity to do some good in the world. I've been looking, and now it's time to give back. Vampires ain't monsters. Or at least, they don't have to be. And come hell or high water, I'm gonna prove it to them.
That's nice.
Well, I think this is the
2024.
address. Number 27, Clean
Hold on.
Flitter Mouse Streeb?
It might need to turn down there, turn up for me. Kleinfetter Mausstrasse. Okay. Small. I don't know what fletter means. Of course, mouse is mouse. Strasse is street. Small something mouse street. I don't know fletter. Maybe this even means something else because I don't see what that has to do with anything. Immernacht, is that midnight? No. I don't know.
Sure is a hell of a lot of ruckus for this time of night. People stay up late here. Wait a minute. These folk are vampires. Better watch myself.
Vampires.
Guten Abend, folks. Sprechen Sie English?
The accent. How's the volume? Because it's really quiet for me, but it doesn't seem like it's that quiet in the audio mixer, which is interesting. Because it's just picking up desktop audio, so I don't know.
Ja, hello, Alta. Are you here to party with us at the hottest club?
I think maybe I can turn up a little bit. Oops, not what I wanted to. Okay. Oops. Ah. Okay, whatever. What is it? Sorry, I don't know what I clicked on. Okay. My computer's a little slow. Clicking on stuff I don't mean to. Okay, am I here to party? We're just gonna ask what
I'm
we're here
looking for
for.
Andromakos.
Andromakos.
You mean the club owner? Ja, das ist why we are here.
Okay. Whatever. Okay.
If you're lucky, he will invite us to the private party at the end of the night.
Well, what happens there?
I think maybe
Therapy.
it is too kinky for Americans to hear.
Oh, too kinky for Americans. Okay. That's about the
What's
club,
so
I guess.
special about this club?
Immernacht
For
is the
vampires?
greatest club aller Zeiten. The owner makes sure everyone has a good
Of all
time.
time.
If
Okay.
anyone acts without respect, they are banned from the club forever.
Hmm.
You are free to do and be whatever you like, as long as you are harming no one.
And I
Okay.
hear that they are now attracting sexy old cowboys.
Shh, Maxie, he is old enough to be your grandfather.
Okay.
Oh, come on now. You're just flattering me. I'm only a couple 100 years old.
Oh mein Gott, he is so cute, Reinhard. Can I keep him?
I guess I'm gonna ask about the
I
dress
don't
code.
think what I'm wearing will fit the dress code.
The cowboy look is totally sexy, but you will get a bit sweaty.
Like, you won't, buddy? What about what you're wearing?
I hope we will all get a bit sweaty.
Good thing we run a little on the cold side, huh?
Don't worry, my Liebling. We make each other warm.
Reinhard, stop. Don't scare the American. I want to do that.
Maxi Liebchen, you're so naughty tonight.
No, you are the naughty one.
Oh, I definitely ain't an American no more.
English with a German accent on another level. Yeah. Tell them
I
you're
can
here to
cut loose.
party.
What kind of party is this?
The kind where we dance all night and get sexy.
Oh, here are them kind of vampires.
Them kind of
I
vampires,
suppose
huh?
there are better things to suck than blood, are there?
Although we have to get past the bouncer first. If we do not, I'm thinking our night is ruined.
Oh, wait a sec. There's something about what she just said. I can feel it.
Yeah, why do you have to get past
It
the
reminds me of
bouncer?
one of my revelations about the funny patterns in the way we vampires think. Well, let's see. One type of thinking I noticed I called hot branding. That's when we brand ourselves with names we can't get rid of.
Hot branding,
There's
okay.
high noon mind. That's when we treat a situation like it's a do or die showdown.
Okay.
And there's saloon thinking. That's when we act either helpless or invincible, like we've just drunk a pint of moonshine. I can always check my journal if I need examples. I kept all my notes about the funny ways we vampires think in there. I think I know which one of them funny ways they're thinking in, though. Hold on, compadres. You seem like the kind who
Yeah,
make their own fun.
compadres.
I don't want to have my own fun. Immernacht is the only place to be on Friday night.
Yeah, I mean, I don't understand why we can't just go in. I feel like I think they're high noon mind. I don't understand why we have to convince the bouncer. Like, why is this a confrontation? But let me see here. Just can't see it. Okay, yeah, okay. High noon mind. Showdown. Stake. Okay. Can't get the best saddle. Oh, so like we need the best. Oh, so it's definitely that, because it's like this club or nothing, right? Like this club is the only thing that we could do. Feeling responsibility or helpless. Okay. And then this one is like gaslighting yourself into like, or labeling yourself with something restrictive. Okay. Make this book go away, please. Okay, I prefer this one.
Amigos, you're putting too much weight on this
Okay.
thing. It's a nightclub.
Just wanted to
not a
make
high
sure.
noon showdown. The night's full of possibilities.
Reinhard, I don't know what this means, but I like the way the sexy American talks.
You make us think that maybe it is better we haven't gotten into the club, because we are now meeting you.
Hey, if meeting me makes your night better, I'm glad we met.
That's so
really gotta
nice.
find Andromachos, though.
You have to get past the bouncer. He decides who gets in and who doesn't. And he hasn't looked our way all night.
Maybe I'll have a little word with him.
Mm.
Excuse me, friend. I hear you're the man to talk to around these parts. I'm here to see Andromachos.
Have fun, mate.
Hey, thanks, amigo. You have yourself a fine night, you hear?
Cowboy, what about us?
Yeah, these guys are alright. Bring them joy or dash their hopes. We'll bring them joy.
Sure, they're friends of mine.
Have fun, mate.
Well, come on, you two. We ain't got all night. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, indeed.
Awful loud in here.
Come on, my liver, dance with us.
I don't like clubs and stuff. And like, it's too crowded and like the loud music, my voice doesn't carry.
Well, you kids have fun. I'll catch up with you later. Tarnation, I'd
Bye
rather
bye,
hear a
kids.
gopher give birth than this.
Rather hear a gopher giving birth.
I better
Excuse
tell
me,
you
sir?
what, they're slinging drinks in this here saloon. They ought to know where Andromachos is. But pardon me, ma'am.
Let me double check the volume. Okay. I guess it's fine. Too loud, too many people, too warm. Yeah, I don't know if it's... I don't know what the temperature is. I've never quite been able to get past the other two things. Pardon me, ma'am.
Well, look at you. We get a lot of 80s fashion in here, but not usually the 1880s.
Yeah.
What can I get you, cowboy? The special's Red Bull and vodka. You down?
I never drink Red Bull. I'm
Flashing
actually
lights
looking for the
bother your
owner.
eyes.
He
I
around
don't-
tonight?
Mind that as much.
Might be. What do you say your name was?
Sam Walls, begging your pardon.
Sam Walls, huh?
I just really don't like the loud music, the loud noise. That's because I think I said this before in the at the Vortex Club party in Life is Strange 1. Because my voice doesn't carry, and so when I go to places like that, I'm immediately like, even somewhere like here or like entering the party in that game, like I felt immediately already like choked up and restricted. Like, you've taken away my power of speech because I know my voice won't carry in that environment. And I no longer have the ability to communicate, and that really stresses me out and upsets me. Obviously. So
I don't think I know anything about a Sam Walls. After all, I'm just a know-nothing bartender.
oh, this is hot branding
Well,
right
Steve,
there.
I see someone with style and confidence, not just a drink machine. Don't go branding yourself like that's all you are.
Don't go hot Brandon.
Don't you go worrying about me, cowboy.
Okay.
The man upstairs warned me you were coming. I was
Yeah,
just testing to
yeah,
see if you are who
kind
you
of.
say you are.
Except the I've seen like a couple episodes, I think, of Comey Can't Communicate, but I don't know. I'm a little tired of yeah, I know what you're referencing. I'm just tired of... So here's a little tangent for everyone. Just because an anime is a romance does not mean it is shoujo. A reminder that shonen and shoujo are basically where they are published, and for the audience that they are intended for, of course. So Comey Can't Communicate is a shonen anime. It is a shonen romance. It is for a male audience, not a female audience. That often comes through in the plots of the shows as well as the art style. So something like, which is a little bit weirder, but actually I've seen a lot of debate about this, but Apothecary Diaries. I'm not sure who publishes it, but I'm perfectly fine calling that a shoujo because it does not have the trappings of a typical shonen. But I could also see when people call it shonen, I can also see that because of the focus on the mystery style. But a lot of people think anything that's romance is shoujo, which is not the case. And a lot of people, like, one thing that kind of surprised me, which again, I thought was a middle ground. Yeah, the focus is important to determine. Yeah. But like Horimiya, for instance, is... that kind of really struck it home for me, because Horimiya, for me, felt like it'd be perfectly fine in a shoujo category, but it is shonen. Essentially, because of the perspective of Miyamura, kind of like getting the like perfect girl, right? And he's the kind of like slacker kind of guy, right? And so he's the one reaching for his dreams, where it feels like Hori's reaching a little bit less, you know? And it's like more his dreams coming true rather than hers, because it's like not a dream for her to get someone like Miyamura, but for someone for like Miyamura to get Hori feels like a little bit more of a dream. And so that's why it's really coming from Miyamura's perspective. But I'd be fine calling that shoujo as well, because it's very similar to a lot of other shoujo. So it's a very middle ground, but it is shonen. And obviously if it's like published in, you know, Shonen Jump or something, or, you know, like, you know, where it's published is a very clear indicator where its weeklies are, at least. Or monthlies, depending on, I guess, the publication. I don't read those. I read the manga volumes, so I don't always pay attention to where its serialization is released. But yeah, so just a reminder, because a lot of people like see a romance and they say, oh, it's shoujo, it's I don't watch shoujo. Or they're like, oh, you like, I don't know, you like Blue Spring Ride, or you like Fruits Basket, you'll like this, like something like Komi Can't Communicate, but that's very much a shonen. And a lot of the romances that we've had in like romance, and I'd say in a slice of life as well, from the past handful of years, a lot of them have been shonen romance and not shoujo romance. But people will be like, no, we get so many romance, there's plenty of anime for the girls, when it's not. It's actually it's still shonen. And because when you actually start paying attention if it's shonen or shoujo, there's still a lot more shonen anime being produced or like available to an English audience, like on Crunchyroll and stuff, compared to shoujo. A lot of the great shoujo mangas don't get picked up the way the shonens will. Not fan of most things Shonen Jump. I like some shonen stuff, but it kind of like my favorites, like my favorite manga's Noragami, which is shonen, and so I like a lot of shonen stuff, but I like some shoujo stuff too, right? It really just depends. I will say the shoujo stuff I like tends to be more slice of life or romance, probably, or mystery. I think Inspector might. I don't know if Inspector is shoujo or shonen, actually, because that's another one I could see going either way. But attention to bringing anime, yeah. Most shonen, the romance is secondary, the actual plot. When it's about relationships, it's often goal-based objective around relationships, being friends instead of being about a friends made. Just thought shonen is boy shit and shoujo is girl. Yeah, well, I mean, it depends. It still is. It's just who it's directed to. So like Komi Can't Communicate, you can tell a shonen immediately, because of the size of her chest and the shape of her body and the way she's dressed and the poses she makes. You can that scream shonen, because that's for the boys. That's not the female gaze. So like something like classic shoujo anime is for romance is like Fruits Basket is like about as shoujo romance as you can get, or on High School Host Club, right? Fan service, yeah, it's like it's fan service for the guys versus fan service for the girls, right? Bishonens, yeah. And that's just in the art style, like that's not always immediately apparent, but there are a lot of shonen romance because the romance is still in the forefront, but like I said, like Horimiya is shonen, and like a lot of the romance that has been put out recently has been, I guess not all, there've been a couple shoujo, what's it called, the one about the girl who's deaf, that one is that one's very shoujo. But oh, and kabedons, yeah. Kabedons are very popular. But there's and yeah, I feel like you see that, yeah, actually more in shoujo than in shonen. But yeah, a lot of there has been more. Got a couple good series recently, but over the past few years, like 4 years maybe, there's been more shonen romance and shoujo romance. There's like been a real paucity of shoujo romance. Let's see, the tarot. Through the tarot redeem, your card is the Fool. So let me see, I can pull this up real quick. So it's gonna be the Fool. Let me switch over here. This one. So the Fool is starting new things out, starting from the beginning, starting with a fresh mind, clean slate. It's the start of the entire like major arcana for tarot, which means like the absolute beginning of a journey. It's a Fool not in terms of like being foolish or stupid, but it's where you start out, right? Everyone starts out somewhere, and it is someone who starts out. It can also represent being a little bit naive perhaps, in terms of, you know, setting off into the world without experiencing the hardships, but it's a card of beginnings, essentially. So whatever it might apply to, that is what the it is going to refer to, is that a card of beginnings, opportunities. Oh yeah, there's the Horimiya season where they cut out the fillers. Yeah. There's I forget. I don't really know what Horimiya's been doing. I've been seeing a lot of clips, but there was one a while ago about that. But yeah, the same thing with Hanako-kun, right? There's a new season of that as well, After School Hanako-kun, which I haven't been paying attention to because it's still not season 2, which is airing in January. But I haven't really been paying attention to it because the After School one, because there is a manga After School Hanako-kun, but I haven't paid attention to that because, again, it's not in part of the serialized like order of the manga. It's again like the little like filler things. But yeah, I don't know about what the new Horimiya is doing. There was like one, I don't know, I think the last volume of Horimiya is releasing soon as well, which I stopped reading a while ago because it got to the point where a lot of the romance anime do this in particular, where once they get the couple together, they then start not caring about the couple anymore, and they focus on the side characters. And it's like, the side characters are nice and all, but that's not what the show is about. Like, make a brand new show, make a spin-off. I don't care about these people. I care about my main characters. And at that point, like, it almost feels like anytime you see the main characters, they're like a cameo, right? Like Melancholia Haruhi Suzumiya season 3 soon. Oh, I haven't seen that. But I don't know. I'm really behind on my anime and my manga, actually. There are a lot of manga that I need to catch up on. It's just so expensive. And I do try to buy them because I like supporting, you know, the artists and the writers and everything. So and I want to get back into physical copies. It was easier for a while for me to read on my Kindle, but they're not that more expensive just to get physical copies. But I have so many physical copies of manga now that it's just like I don't have the space to put them And they read so much faster, right, than normal books. So I feel bad because I feel like my manga's like growing and growing, and my books are like feeling sad and overwhelmed. And also the manga, I think I tweeted about this maybe or something, or oh no, I think it was a draft and Twitter deleted it at some point. But I don't like how manga has like white spines. They don't look very nice on your bookshelf. But Hanako-kun and Norimiya are really great for that, and Black Butler as well. Which is a new Black Butler season, right? Did that already come out, or is it coming out? I forget. But that's exciting too. So it was a long time since I got into Black Butler. I was really into. Actually, it was a November thing when I was doing NaNoWriMo, and I was like, I can watch another episode of Black Butler if I finish my like word count for the day, and that was really good. Oh, Haruhi came out in 2009. I don't know. It could be Fruits Basket, right? That one came out of nowhere for the finishing that off. So there's always hope for any sort of. There was something else that people were saying just got renewed recently, or what was it? The manga a manga that had gone on hiatus was picked up again, and people were like, oh, that means there's hope for another season of the anime. What was it? It was something I know, but I also didn't realize the manga had been on hiatus. I just thought it was taking a while. I'm not sure. Anyway, point of this was a reminder that Butler, you kept thinking the blue-haired one. What? I don't know the blue-haired one. But yeah, a reminder that with romance anime, a large portion of the romance anime you see is actually shonen. And Hayate the Combat Butler. Oh, I'm not familiar with that. I like Black Butler, but I'm not. So I know a lot of people like it for like Sebastian, and they're like, ooh, Sebastian's so good. And that's great and all. He's not like it's not. A lot of people think he's really sexy, and that's not me, not my kind of guy. But I just like CL as a character. He's just so cool. I like the very, very competent. Even though he's a child, he's so competent, and it's so cool. And I want to be like that. I want to be as cool as he is. And I love the relationship that he and Sebastian have. And that kind of support, even though it's like a contract relationship, there's still an element of support and respect there that I like. It reminds me, there's a Jonathan Stroud, I think his name is, books, the Bartimaeus series that I read when I was little, and feels like the same relationship between Nathaniel and Bartimaeus, right? In the third book of that, I think it was the third book or the fourth. How many books are in that series? I don't know. I don't remember. But the way it ends is this. I love the bond that they have together. So another good Tsundere Kagumiya roll. I see. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why. I'm not really very familiar with it at all. But yeah, so, I don't know why we got on this, but yeah, the Komi can't communicate. Yeah, a lot of people will be like, oh, I see TikToks of people being like, oh, I just watched Fruits Basket and I really liked it. What are some other, good anime that are like it? And people will be like, oh, you should definitely you should definitely watch Komi Can't Communicate. And it's like, that is not the same as Fruits Basket. Or Sign of Affection, that's the one where the girl is deaf and the guy learn sign language for her. And it's like, because that got a lot of, because that was simulcast for the winter season, I think, this past year. And so a lot of people, and it was dubbed in English, so a lot of people picked up on that. Or Apothecary Diaries, that's... I am not caught up with the light novels, or the manga, but the manga's, you know, well behind the light novels. And where I left off with the light novels was like volume 6 or 7 maybe. And Jinshi, I mean, has obviously liked Mao for a long time, but Mao, however, was clearly presenting as asexual. And like, it really bothered me that, like, because she just was not, it wasn't clear, but she was very, very seemed asexual. But they're playing it up as and it is romance based, you know, but it was kind of like, oh, maybe it's just gonna peter out, because it's primarily a mystery, not a romance. And but everyone watching the anime was like, oh yeah, you know, like they're gonna get together, blah blah blah, and they're just like, guys, I hate to break it to you, but I don't think they're gonna get together. But apparently in the light novels, since I've last read, she does come around, which makes me question a little bit why that's the case. I hate it when they change so, because it feels like asexual erasure, which is very similar. I get really, one of my biggest pet peeves in romance stuff is bi erasure. I hate it when like a character, you know, has a straight relationship and then they have a gay relationship, but then they're not bi, they're actually gay. And that first relationship is completely invalidated. They didn't know what love was. They didn't know what attraction was. They thought they liked them, and it definitely presented as a relationship the whole time. And then they said how they loved them and how they were happy in the relationship and all of that. And then they're like, nope, never mind. Turns out they didn't like that at all. Why does it have to be one or the other? Why can't they just be bi? It makes me so mad when they do that. So yeah, and that kind of felt like what they were doing here, but like with erasing Mao's asexualness, kind of. I don't know. Really, really frustrating. And everyone's kind of like waiting for it to happen, just like in like Heaven Official's Blessing, right? When everyone's like waiting for them to get together, and it's like, oh boy, guys, you have no idea how many light novels you have. But yeah, I find it odd to have people follow your preferred label box. Yeah, it's yeah, people just try to box things in too much, and it's like I mean, like, they establish a character as one thing, and then they decide to change the label rather than expanding it. I don't know. It's like you clearly wrote like an asexual character or a bi character, and the asexual is different because, again, it could just be Mal maturing and, you know, realizing different things and overcoming different mental blocks that she has, because there are reasons why, right? From because she worked in the red light district and all of that. But clearly part, what do you mean? Like some of the things that, I don't know, it's the description of her, like, felt very ace when, like, Jinshi kisses her and she pushes him away. She feels very upset. She feels like she clearly describes feeling no sexual attraction, and she never has, and doesn't trump that. Yeah, I know. Well, but it's, and again, I don't know for that character, like I said, like, because I, you know, was shipping them, and then it kind of was like, oh, okay, she's ace, because the author said she has never experienced sexual attraction. She does not feel it now. It makes her very uncomfortable that she's being put in this situation. And, you know, so I believed that. But again, it could have been that she just matured, because it's the same person that she ends up with a relationship with. but the bi thing is what makes, like, because I'm thinking something like Buffy the Vampire Slayer, where Willow and Oz's relationship was very much your normal sort of relationship, and then it was kind of like, nope, she's actually a lesbian the whole time. And like maybe she didn't actually like Oz that way, but that was not what they showed in the show, is the thing. And I don't know why you like couldn't have just said, why can't this character just be bi? Why did you have to say, nope, that entire relationship that she had for a season was not real? That was just one that really sticks out to me, but a lot of people do that, is they'll write a character with a straight relationship, then change it, and then kind of say, nope, never mind, they don't like that other gender anymore. They are now gay. And like, I don't know, I feel like there's not as many, like, it's great that there are gay characters, but like you can have bi characters as well. And I know that happens with a lot of people in real life who are bi, is like, you know, with whatever, like how people are. Yeah, but like you don't have to do that for the show, right? Like, I don't know, like it's because it's kind of like, for those characters, they're like, oh well, we want more, you know, gay characters, but it's also a situation where you also don't have bi characters being represented either. And you know, seeing a lot of people in real life who are bi who kind of like have that invalidated, or they're forced to be one or the other, or like as soon as they're in like a gay relationship or a straight relationship, they're kind of being said like, oh well, you're gay or you're straight. And like, it's, you know, I don't know, it really just kind of bugs me, and seeing people like you know, be kind of pushed out of that, or having that invalidated because of who they're actually with at the time, it just I don't know, it frustrates me a lot. And especially like in a TV show where they like, because you can't tell me that was the plan all along in like something like Buffy, where the relationship she had with Oz wasn't planned on being real or healthy, and that they were trying to make it that by the end it'd be like, oh, she doesn't actually like him actually. Like, that was felt very retconned. Like, they could have changed it, but they didn't even address how she feels about it. And they were just like, nope, she's gay now, and this is going to be the first, and it's the first female kiss on like network television, which is, you know, a big thing. But she could have just been bi. I don't know why you had to undo her previous relationship in like, and I know that does happen with people, but it just in a show where you get invested in the characters and their relationships and things like that, it just felt kind of possible to know unless the author announces it. Impossible to know that they never intended it all along. I don't know. I don't think at this point we care what Joss Whedon says, considering how he's behaved with people. At like the stuff Charisma Carpenter said and stuff, and the way he treated and acted, or the women on set. Like, he wrote strong female characters, but the way he treated the women in the show, the actresses, is not something like, don't even care what he says anymore. But it's not just the author's intent. That's actually not how you do literary criticism. It's what's in the text that matters, not the author's intent. The author intended this, it doesn't matter. That was not portrayed in the writing, and that has to come through in the writing. It can't be, well, the author just intended this, and then they said you can't do that. It has to show through in the writing. That's why J.K. Rowling can't get away with everything that she is doing when she backpedals on things, because it's not portrayed in the writing. And it's not like, oh well, but the author said an extra things, or you don't know unless the author says. You know what's in the text, and the way things are conveyed in the text, and that's why you have to convey things. And like, at the time, all we got from that show was Willow likes a guy. She's in love with this guy. They are together, and then he leaves her for other opportunities. She is heartbroken and very upset that her boyfriend left her and they drifted apart after high school. She goes to college. She falls in love with a woman. She is now gay. And it's just accidental interpretation is more important. No, interpretation of what is in the text. And if that's accidental, yes. Unless you want to completely forget all of academia and academic training and literary criticism and literary analysis and the entire subject of English, yes. What is in the text is there. Because you do not know the intentions of the author, and the intentions of and what is pulled from the audience is very subjective. You always argue from the text and what is actually in the text. And if it's not in the text, the author shouldn't have put it in the text. And if the author accidentally conveys things through the text, then yes. And that's why you argue, and when you argue, you use information from the text. But that's just the way it is. That's how analysis happens, is text-based. That's the only one that you can actually be objective. Because everything else you don't know. And the author can come out and say stuff, but they didn't put it in the text. Like, that's nice, fun information, fun background information, but it should have been in the text if it is important. That's just the way it is. And if it's not important, then that's fine. But if it's important stuff, then it should be expressed in the text. Or if the reader or viewer, the audience, is not able to get that information from the text, then it should have been in the text. The stories become the interpretation of the audience, and the author cannot control what. And that's actually some things that happen with other online media recently. The whole Yellow Ochre stuff, right? They're having trouble recently with their album, their songs being misinterpreted because they give out little bits of lore, and they have a lot of trouble with people misinterpreting or misunderstanding their lore that they are only giving out in little snippets, and then they have to correct people constantly, that's just what happens. The author is not in control of their work like that. The work speaks for itself, and everyone gets to enjoy it on their own. And so, as an author, if you want the work to be understood a certain way, you need to make sure that that is in the work in order for people to be able to acquire that information. You don't get to put out the work and then add extra things on and dictate it in interviews and things like that. What's in the work is what stands. Is how that is. You can't expect people to, be at the whim of the author and mercy of the author forever after. But any sort of representation or anything like that, or the way characters are portrayed or things written and information that's given, needs to be in the text or published in supplementary materials, perhaps, as like canonical lore, but it can't like be dropped in bits and pieces in interviews and all that sort of stuff after. Right? Like, it doesn't have to be in book 1, it can be in book 2, it doesn't have to be in season 1, it can show up in season 2. But things need to be, because I think the thing with Buffy, what bothers me is that, again, Oz broke up with Willow. Willow was sad that he left. She then realized she likes girls, but never addressed that she doesn't like guys. She never said that. And we never got resolution on how she felt about Oz, right? Like, as far as we have been given, that was her first love. And it was a good relationship that didn't work out because they graduated high school and split up. And like, with that information, she seems bi, but they said gay, and it feels like just bi erasure. Yeah. Get out of hand due to personal bias. Yeah. I mean, yeah, and that's fine. But like, if it's not in the text, then like, I mean, and you can critique the author, right? Like again, like with Buffy, they're like, oh, well, they said she's gay now. And it's like, okay, that's fine. But I'm still going to critique that. and say that I don't think they handled that well. They can't just say, oh, now she's gay, without explaining her first relationship and how she feels about that. Because they did not give any closure or any change of perspective about that. We, you know, like, does she not like him anymore? Like, what happened? And I feel like, and again, this was like, it originally came out in the late 90s, early 2000s, right? And I think this season would have probably been out in the early 2000s. And by that point, they're not going to talk about bisexuality. Again, this was the first female kiss on network television. So, you know, they're going to simplify it down. Now she's gay, right? They're not going to complicate things with she's bisexual, right? She, you know, mostly likes men, but on occasion women, or she decides she mostly likes women, but she, you know, has a stronger romantic attraction to men as well, that she can overlook the sex. You know, like, they're not going to overcomplicate the nuances of bisexuality when they're introducing the concept of homosexuality to begin with, right? So it's, you know, and I get that, but it is just very frustrating to watch in retrospect, because it sort of bi erasure does happen a lot in real life, and it just kind of makes me mad to see, because it's just people who want to push people into boxes and like, to make things easier for them, and they'll be like, and a lot of people who are bi, who, like, again, are in a straight relationship, they'll be like, no, you're not, you know, part of the community, you're straight because you're in a straight relationship. And they'll be like, if you were actually gay, why aren't you in a gay relationship? Or the same thing with people who are gay. They'll be like, oh, but no, but you, or they'll, you know, encourage people to be in those relationships because it's, I don't know, spicier or something, right? Like, it seems more interesting, I guess, than a heterosexual relationship. But few people are bi, people are told they're straight. Yeah, same thing. Either told they're straight, or like they get shipped a lot, like with like people online, you know, and stuff. People who are bi will get shipped in homosexual relationships a lot more. And this stuff, it just makes me so mad. Like, pushing people in one direction or the other. Being bisexual is not complicated. Or people who, there are sometimes pride parades, right, where bisexual people are not really welcome, or people would like try to ask to take the B out of LGBTQ, because they're like, yeah, but you have a choice. You are not persecuted. You are not oppressed, because you could be in a straight relationship. You have that opportunity. No one's stopping you from that, and you are perfectly that is acceptable to you. So, you know, you can live your life just fine without being oppressed. So you shouldn't act like you are, which is also infuriating. And I just, ever since the Buffy thing, it kind of made that, like, for some reason hit really badly for me and made me really, really mad. And then every time I see it, I get really mad about, again, like, people pushing people. And bi people kind of get it the worst, I feel like, in some ways, because they get pushed one way or the other, or again, kind of saying that they're not oppressed kind of pushes them to say, like, well, you're straight, because, like, you don't really get a choice for who they like. Like, who they like, they could be in a straight relationship, but they might not like a person of the opposite sex, right? They might like someone of the same sex. That you don't have to, you know, yeah, you can be in a straight relationship, but it doesn't mean you want to. About acceptance, not oppression. I mean, but a lot of people are, you know, kind of like, they see it as celebrating people who are otherwise oppressed, or who used to be oppressed. And especially, like, again, historically, they'll be like, well, people who are bi could have always been in a straight relationship. You know, and it's like, yeah, if you're desperate to be in a relationship, then yeah, they could have been in a straight relationship, but that might not have been the relationship that they wanted. And even then, regardless, like, even if they did want a straight relationship, it's, you know, still the mental pressure of dealing with the attraction that is, you know, seen as taboo in society is also difficult, and just makes me really mad to see. Yeah, so, you know, it's, and there's a lot of stuff, like, again, I study, you know, a lot of history and ancient things, and the perspectives of all that throughout history have changed a lot and everything. ups and downs for different types of attractions and relationships have undergone different perspectives. So key difference between bi and pan. Bi and pan. Bi mostly focuses on mostly just masculine and feminine, and male and female. Pan is a little bit broader in that it kind of includes every single sexuality. Like bisexuality, of course, is like the main two. Pan would be absolute. Pan is a Greek prefix for all, so it would be people who are agender, people who are non-binary, people who are non-gender, right? All sorts of those things, which might still like potentially I don't know. I'm like personally like I'm just straight. It's just boring. But like pan is more like the gender itself doesn't really even matter. Yeah. Pan is they're like, I don't really care, man. is the idea. Bi they'll be like, I like girls and I like guys. But pan is like, whatever, dude, I don't care. Right? They like, it's not really a question that bothers them. Yeah, is kind of the idea. Yeah, there's some overlap. And that's why, like, again, a lot of other things, like people, like, again, the difference between non-gender and agender and, what's the other one? Non-gender and, non-binary, right? There's a lot of overlap between those as well. And it kind of comes down to just how people perceive themselves for those. And the same thing with bi and pan. It's less like who they're attracted to, but more how they perceive the attraction, I suppose, is a good way to describe it. But I feel like bi people will notice the gender more than pan people, if that makes sense. And then again, something people don't always talk about quite as much is a difference between sexuality and romance, sex and romance, and people can be on different spectrums when it comes to their attraction romantically compared to sexually. And like even people like who might be bi might be more attracted sexually to one gender and more romantically attracted to another, and things like that. Less physical, less physically dependent. And that kind of overlaps a lot then as well with like people who are like demisexual and stuff like that as well. And there's just a lot of nuance to it, which kind of comes down to the point of putting people in boxes and putting the labels on. Really, once you start talking about all the nuance, really falls apart because there are so many different ways of thinking about it and talking about it and stuff. Like the boxes and the labels are a great place to start, but they're not really complete answers or explanations for anyone. But they can be a good place to navigate things, of course, initially, obviously. But yeah, so a little tangent on that. But yeah, so that kind of made me where did I get that from Apothecary Diaries, right? Because she was written as an asexual character. At first I didn't think so, but there's the one scene where Jinji kisses Mao, and her reaction to that read very asexual. But again, it might not be because she's asexual, it might be because of trauma. It might be why she had that response, which is why I'm open to the possibility of her potentially getting that. But where I left off was thinking that she's asexual. So to know that things have moved on now in the novels, I'm like, how? What has happened? What did I miss? So it's just a little. Boxes are good for statistical use, not used on individuals. Yeah, it's in a starting place for individuals. Like when you're like if you're looking for someone, knowing like if people are open to this or that from a general perspective can be a good place to start. And then getting more nuanced as you kind of work through things and talk through things is always good. And a lot of people are working on figuring out their own identities too. So they can't even necessarily easily communicate all the details and stuff. But yeah, so and for relating to people, like the boxes are a great way to feel like you can relate to people, or like you can talk about things with other people, you know, feel seen and represented in media in all sorts of different ways. But the boxes are a great way to kind of help do that. Hey, Wrench Savage, welcome. Ending a tangent here. But yeah, so a little bit of that. So there's stuff to keep in mind, especially when it comes to media representation and things like that. Which actually, one more thing on this tangent. When it comes to Life is Strange, because I thought about this the other day, and I was going to tweet about it, but then I was like, no, I feel like the moment has passed. But since we're on the topic, the moment has not passed. The moment is back. One thing that bothered me about True Colors, right, is that Alex, she so my issue there is was in choosing between our like looking back on it, something that bothered me about the romance in that game was that in the first 2 games, right? Like I was playing, like in the first game I was playing as Max, and we did not romance Chloe and we did not romance Warren. What opportunity we even had. We had kiss opportunities, and we did not kiss either of them because we were playing as Max, right? And Max had clear preferences laid out. She had a clearly established relationship with Chloe, and she also had clear preferences when it came, or lack of preferences towards, when it came to Warren, right? And the same thing with Chloe in Before the Storm, right? Like, we didn't do anything with what's his face because whatever his, what even was his, I don't you know, the guy who's annoying. Like, she clearly was over him and never really into him romantically to begin with. So that was really easy to make a call on. And then her relationship with Rachel, like, it was clear that she liked her, but they were moving very fast, right? And so again, within our character, we had clear preferences stated, and we knew where she was at and where she was coming from. Kind of the same thing with Life is Strange 2, right? Because the thing there with Sean, like, we went for what's-her-face because Cassidy, because he had clearly shown signs of liking her, right? We didn't go with Finn because he did not show signs of liking Finn. And like in these games, like there were actual clear, like, even if you did pick someone, there were clear answers with who to go with, right? First game, go with Chloe. Max clearly didn't like Warren. Second game, go with Rachel. Chloe at least clearly liked her the whole time. And then the same thing with Finn. Like, you know, Sean did not like Finn, right? Like, there was no, oh, hey, this guy's kind of hot. Like, no, he clearly had no preference for that, right? He clearly liked Cassidy from the beginning. However, so we kind of had these predetermined, you know, characterizations given to us about the characters, right? We were playing these characters. But the problem with Alex was we weren't given preferences. She, like, kind of talked about both of the characters really highly. And it was completely left Life is Strange, yeah. But, like, it left it up to us, and they played it off in, like, a lot of, you know, like, regular dating sim games, right? Where, like Stardew Valley, right? Where the farmer isn't given a character, right? Like, and it's you, the player, who gets to choose everything about that character and their preferences. And that kind of felt like how it was with Alex, right? Like, when it came between, like, our love interests, Alex didn't have a choice, like a preference of her own, right? She either liked, you know, like, I mean, she just didn't have a preference, right? Like, it was all upon us. And that I struggled with a lot in playing that game and that character, I realized. Because and I didn't really like that, and it felt very different than the other previous games, and because there was nothing established for her when it came to those characters, and we were really picking at crumbs to try and figure out who she liked. And that was a really different thing for a Life is Strange game, for the character to not have those sorts of preferences. And in general, she did not have much of a character compared to the others had. And I think maybe that, because I think I talked about this on the stream, there's something else maybe that I had come to realize off of that, and I kind of forget now if there's something more or not. But anyway, that just reminded me of that. So if I didn't say it before, I'm saying it now. Maybe I just thought of it and didn't say it. I don't know. But that was something that was very difficult in that character, was because she didn't have preferences. And like, it was hard to play that game that way, especially because something in Stardew Valley, you have a lot of, even though I actually don't like any of the characters in Stardew Valley, none of the bachelors are my type, and you know, I'm straight, so I don't like the ladies. So none of them are particularly appealing to me. But I usually go for Sebastian though, because like that's the closest, I guess. But but when you only have two, like one of each gender, right, in something like True Colors, is like neither of them are, you know, it's like your chances of finding someone who's the player's type is really hard, you know. Like I'm straight, so my only option is Ryan, but Ryan is definitely not my type. So like, you know, he was sweet, but it's not appearance wise and personality wise, not really it for me. So, you know, it's a weird choice. The other games felt more satisfying because I wasn't playing as much of my own input, right? I was playing the character and their preferences, right? Role playing. I was playing as those characters. But True Colors didn't have that, and that felt kind of weird. And like, and they didn't give me a chance really to play off of my preferences. So I'm like, whose preferences are we playing? My favorite Shane, because he's I started playing Stardew before Shane was romanceable, and I actually have a comment on TikTok that has a lot of people mad at me. I don't think he's a good romanceable character, because I don't think relationships should start from trauma recovery like that. And his you spoilers if anyone hasn't played through the Shane plotline, the talk of a suicide attempt, I don't know if he was quite there yet, but he was at the point where he was talking about it, which you always take seriously anytime anyone says anything like that. Which is why you should never joke, you know, like, oh, this thing is going poorly, I'm going to kill myself. Like, never joke about that, because you need to save those statements for people who say it and really mean it. Because a lot of people will say it almost jokingly, but it is more serious to them. But Shane actually talking about it, you know, like, it's not like, it's very serious for him. And I don't think saving someone from suicide is a great start to the relationship, not a romantic relationship, and not without a lot of time in between. I don't think you can move on from that straight into a romantic relationship, because it establishes weird power dynamics within that relationship and weird roles within that relationship, and that's not healthy. So I don't like Shane as a romanceable character for that reason, because I don't think that establishes a healthy relationship. Mac, there's an option. Probably not, I don't think. But what else was I gonna say? Yeah, I think that's it. They should be okay with a female that in a relationship. I'd be okay with a female that doesn't identify as one, as long as they're physically one. No, that's fine. And that is something that actually has a lot of discussion recently, is like, people will say that you know, like, oh, I'm attracted to, you know, men, and so like a trans man, they'll be like, oh, but you're a man, so I'm still attracted to you. But it's perfectly okay to be attracted to like specific physical features and certain, you know, sexual opportunities. Like, that's perfectly fine. dated multiple bis before, yeah. This would be like thinking like, yeah, like if someone's a trans man and you're like if I'm like, oh, I'm straight, and then a trans man comes up and says, hey, well, what about me? And I'm like, oh, sorry, I'm not interested in you, because I like men, but you know, like they are a man, but like it's okay to be like, I'm just not attracted to those features, because yeah, you can't force what you're attracted to, right? You might not be attracted to tall people or short people or like any number of things, you know, just I would say don't invalidate their identity. And you can say, you know, oh, sorry, you know, I am attracted to men, but I like, you know, I like male genitalia, or I like, you know, sex in the style, and so, you know, I wouldn't work out with you, you know, and that's the type of thing that you would say, right? I would say fine. And that's a sensitive issue, and it's a sensitive issue for people who are trans, I know. But it's, you know, yeah, it does get kind of touchy in that area. And then, like, so, you know, just, you know, making sure you're always validating people and their identities, and just everyone being mindful that not everyone likes everything, and that's okay. And it's okay to be kind of picky about what you like physically and you know, personality wise, and even then everyone can, someone can be exactly what you like but might not vibe with you, and that's, you know, acceptance go both ways. Yeah. You know, before then they shared it when they were comfortable. Yeah. And yeah, and that's fine. People can share things or not, or, you know, whatever they feel like. And you just kind of have to go with the flow, you know? Kind of, and if things change or things back out because, you know, you're like, oh, new information came to light. I mean, you know, if something doesn't work out, something doesn't work out, right? And that you're kind of doing everyone a favor by not forcing things that don't work out. And you know, not being mean or judgmental about it, just being chill and being like, yeah, okay, it's fine. That's pretty chill with how things go. Yeah, communication is key, really. And understanding, you know, you can't force communication, you know, build trust, and sometimes, yeah, it sucks that you might put like a year or two into a relationship and then realize, you know what, we don't actually work out. If you have to, you know, build that trust a while, and then you find something that, you know, or you try to make something work and it doesn't, and that's okay too. Like, it happens, and you learned about yourself along the way, and you know, and other people and what you need, and that's useful. Don't promote that either way. Differences arise in a while. Yeah. Sometimes differences come up, and things that you might not expect might not work out, and you know, so kind of just being very mindful about it, and it's hard because emotions come into play, right? And people get very emotional, and it's just kind of down to emotional intelligence and being aware of your emotions and communicating your emotions, really, is what it comes down to. And it can be hard. It can be hard, and just being accepting of that, and understanding what people are going through, and everyone's not working through the same place as you are. People might be approaching things from a different level of trust than you are, a different level of comfort, and, you know, being patient and waiting for them, and, you know, all of that sort of stuff is perfectly fine. So anyway, that's been our Celestine therapist portion of the evening. Get back to the game that we're playing, but at least it's not so off topic, right? It is a therapist game, so no wonder it's getting us in this mindset. So, right, no wonder. Well, let's see about these vampires. What are they going through? Because I started talking about how clubs are unpleasant. right, it did. Yep, this is why we don't like clubs. I have opinions, I have ideas, I like to communicate, I like to talk. And you can't really do that at a club. So, you know, that's okay. I mean, upstairs from you. Okay.
Tell you what, let me
Let's
give you
continue.
something
Let's
from
continue.
our special reserve.
This gets us in the right mindset, right? We're in the right mindset now. We're in the therapist mindset. We're thinking psychologically. We're thinking about communication, listening to people, trying to understand people and where they're coming from, understanding what they might need help with and what they're going through. So we're at a good
Well, thank you kindly, ma'am.
place.
I was wondering where the blood was. I met some vampires outside, so I figured this was a vampire club.
You met some gods, honey. They're here to dance and have fun.
They weren't vampires at all?
So all these people are mortals?
How do you think the head vampire gets his blood? They can't wait to share it with him. It's a special experience. He's the only real vampire here. Well, him and Bert.
Oh, and I know on all this stuff as well, again, especially talking about sexuality, again, like, I'm just straight, so, like, I don't want to talk over people who are other, other orientations or, other sexualities or, identities and things like that, right? So just, you know, take that with my grain of salt, is coming from a, you know, straight cis girl, right? So just a little note on that. I want to make sure I stress that is I don't want to talk over people. I just know a lot of people in those communities, and like I have a lot of I see a lot of content from those communities, and you know, trying to share those. So only speak for themselves. Their owners. Yeah. Just, you know, don't understand that when I'm speaking for myself, I'm not part of that community. So but I just trying to use the voice that I do have to advocate, right? Like, is what you should always do. So just yeah. So I'll obviously always listen to other people from that community, but hopefully this a little bit.
You met him already. Bert, shuffle on over here. This one's here to see the big guy. Show him upstairs, okay?
Have fun, mate.
Good luck up there, cowboy. Hope you find what you're looking for.
Oh, okay. Whatever. Like already glitching?
It's Sam Wallace.
We've reached a checkpoint. Yeah.
Sending you all them V-mails.
It's really funny to word it like a checkpoint, like it was like really hard or something to get here. V-mail, vampire mail, that's funny.
Samuel Walls.
I know what you are.
You've come here because you believe you can help our kin. The question is, are you first able to help yourself?
I don't know. Yeah, I
I've been
can.
fixing myself for more than a century now.
Feels like a really
I don't think I
toxic
need help.
answer though.
Then you must prepare to learn a most difficult
I know
lesson.
that's not the right answer.
We all need help, Samuel. I am pleased that you have come to receive mine.
Dang, you scared the heck out of me.
You must allow an ancient vampire his games. He will play them regardless.
I think it's different to need someone's help versus you can use someone's help.
Please, sit down. What an absolute pleasure it is to meet you at last. I found your messages most intriguing.
Afraid there ain't much here in the way of intrigue. I'm just a lonesome cowboy looking for answers.
Yeah, it was definitely a trap.
You know, I receive emails every day from vampires seeking
No
my
right
help.
answer, really.
You are the very first to seek my aid in helping others. This alone makes you intriguing.
Well, dang. I think you're going to be sorely disappointed when you get to talking to me. I'm just honored you're giving me the time of night.
I have unlimited time, Samuel. I am pleased to share some of it with you. Our kind can be rather set in their ways. It is inspiring to see someone so young and eager to learn.
Yeah, well, I wasn't much for learning when I was alive. Just making up for lost time, I guess.
Oh, cute.
It sounds as though you have been handling your own life better than most. I was particularly intrigued by these revelations you had while walking in nature.
Oh, yeah, them. Well, I give walking the credit. Nothing
Oh
sorts
yeah,
my
them,
thoughts out
those
better.
revelations.
After a few decades, I started seeing patterns in the way we vampires think.
Can you explain some of these patterns?
I've tried to explain them to other vampires, but it ain't never gone well. I can try, though. See, we tend to assume certain things just because we've been believing them since we were alive.
See, I'm very intrigued. He is very likable. I normally wouldn't really like a cowboy type. I'd imagine a lot of red flags there, as far as I'm concerned. But he seems okay. Probably because he's been a cowboy for a long time. He had some time to settle down. But I'm very intrigued to see how they perceive these psychological issues different in vampires than normal humans. Because so far, these are all sorts of things that affect humans, and they're not unique to vampires. So I'm really intrigued where he's going with this about how they're unique to vampires. But you've been believing them since you were
Or
alive.
we decide the world's against us just because we're hungry or tired or something.
Yeah, but
And
everyone
when we
feels like
start
that
tackling
sometimes.
problems that ain't real, we ain't fixing our real problems. That make any kind of sense?
Fascinating, Samuel.
Yeah.
These revelations that you had in the woods, mortal psychologists have a term for them. They are called cognitive distortions.
Cognitive distortion.
Cognitive whoozy what now?
Cognitive distortions.
It's just
They
distortions,
are
buddy. It's
exactly
not a
as you
big
described
word.
them. I will explain in a moment. Please, tell me about these specific revelations you had.
What about high noon
Well,
mind?
I noticed how we stress ourselves out by making everything a battle of do or die absolutes. High noon mind, I call it. Like that feeling you get right before a big shootout.
I must confess
Yeah,
I
I'm
have no
sure
experience with this feeling.
he
I engaged
understands.
in Mortal Kombat long before the age of gunpowder.
No. Hear me out. Andromacos here, he knows dueling with rapiers. Right? You can't tell me this guy has not handled an FA or a rapier or something, right? He knows the sword. Yeah. He knows a good old fashioned sword duel. I know he does. Although honestly, I'm surprised he doesn't know a pistol either. But he's seen a sword. He knows these.
But the sentiment
He's
you
just
describe
playing
mirrors
dumb.
the words of my old friend Marcus Aurelius. He used to say that the magnitude of life's
Marcus
challenges
Aurelius?
often turn us into our worst selves.
Marcus Aurelius is a red flag, by the way. Anyone who brings him up, it's a red flag. It's not. You don't need to turn off the video, turn off the stream, walk away from the person, but it is a red flag. I'm just gonna say. It's used by a lot of racist, white supremacist, Eurocentric misogynists in a lot of today's those communities use a lot of the stoicism and Marcus Aurelius. So anytime, and I know a lot of people who have been on that stoic kick. I remember when PewDiePie got on that a handful of years ago. It's you want to be careful. Doesn't, I mean, it's still quality psychology, still quality philosophy, but it is also used by bad communities and is a gateway potentially to be in those communities, and those communities will prop up those premises and those beliefs. They'll twist them and distort them, pull them out of the context they're originally written in order to promote their own agendas. So be very careful with them.
You mean Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor?
Of course, his name was Marcus. Marky was a bedroom name.
Ugh.
You mean you and the emperor were...
It was ancient Rome. Penetration was similar to a handshake.
Yeah, I'm not that
My
sure that was the
apologies. I
case.
somehow forgot you were American.
Actually,
But let us discuss this high noon
fun
mind.
fact about ancient history, not going to get into it, but that's not the
I
case.
believe we can broaden your definition. Mortal psychologists call this phenomenon of
There's a
binary
reason why
thought
Caesar,
polarized thinking,
in his
but
campaign,
I like to call it
had to fight
Nosferatu
against
thinking.
the propaganda against him that he was a bottom. Just saying.
Nosferatu thinking?
It means you are thinking in black and white.
I get it. That's pretty funny.
I believe it encompasses the breadth of the distortion. One is not flatly weak or strong, good or evil, smart or stupid, a success or a failure.
Yeah.
The truth is far
This is
more
what we were talking.
complex
This is
and
very
colorful.
similar to hot branding.
Not every high noon gunfight ends in oblivion, correct?
But yeah, that's true. Getting shot still ain't fun,
Things
but
are
it
very
ain't the end either.
complex.
A perfect example, Samuel. Now, try to catch me using Nosferatu thinking. I will give you a series of statements, and one of them will contain Nosferatu thinking. I will repeat them
Being
if you listen.
trained to be a therapist. This is exciting.
If I do not drink blood, I will surely die.
What is saloon thinking again? I don't remember that one. Hold on. I'm gonna show up ready to win the rodeo. I'm gonna show up. Alright, either so control or completely helpless. Okay. I mean, that sounds like black and white.
Is that Nosferatu
No.
thinking?
No, Samuel. In this case, I am not arguing with reality. If we do not drink blood, we die. This is a fact of being a vampire.
I don't know, man. Not for all vampires. Sometimes they just shrivel up.
Let us continue.
Isn't that the case in Interview with a Vampire? Isn't that what happens with, what's her name, Claudia? Doesn't she just, like, shrivel up in, like, a well or something? I don't know. It's been a while.
Death eventually comes for us all.
Not vampires. Not vampires. Saloon thinking?
We are only trying to identify Nosferatu thinking right
Well,
now. I will repeat myself. Death eventually comes for us all. Mortals will always fear our kind.
Oh, I don't have to pick one. Okay, that makes sense. Mortals will always fear our kind. That feels like Nosferatu
thinking right there. I've met mortals who knew who I was and weren't scared.
Very good, Samuel. And even if you hadn't, to say mortals will always fear us ends any hope that they might not. Always is such a terminal word, is it not? Would you like to discuss more of your revelations with me?
Let's talk about saloon
thinking. I realize
thinking.
that as vampires, we can get the feeling of the power that comes with immortality and strength, but then we get hopeless and aimless over time. It's kind of like the fella you see in the saloon at the bottom of a bottle of whiskey. Either he thinks he can fight everyone, or he's crying into them last drops because he thinks life's hopeless. It's saloon thinking. Two extremes that probably ain't true.
A fascinating observation, Samuel. Your saloon thinking was described in my time as the battle between hubris and nemesis, the twin excesses of arrogance and self-pity.
Oh man, it made me wish I'd gotten some schooling. Maybe I would have figured this stuff out earlier.
Yeah, see, this stuff isn't unique.
You live forever, my
Sam,
friend. There is no rush. What you have identified is a phenomenon where individuals perceive either an illusion of control or a lack of control.
See, that's one thing I like. Being a vampire, being immortal like that is really cool because you have so much time to learn so much stuff.
Mortal psychologists call this phenomenon you have described a control fallacy.
Are we gonna use the actual thinking? Or the actual, like, name? I liked his version. His spun root into in Western version.
No power at all. But we create this illusion that stops us from attempting to change our perceived situations.
Yeah, you're right about that.
That's definitely some Marcus Aurelius talk.
Maybe that's what made me stick with him for so long.
It's a bit saddening, yeah.
Yes, you see how cognitive distortions keep us from facing reality, whatever that reality may be. Of course, I am so old and powerful that I am always in control.
You're testing me, ain't you?
Yeah, that's a control fallacy right there, yeah.
Well done, Samuel. I am indeed very powerful.
Can't fool me, Andromachos.
No awareness of
or Andromachos.
Of course, as you expertly pointed out with your analogy about the man at the bottom of a whiskey bottle, a control fallacy can be positive or negative. Listen to my next few statements and try to find a control fallacy. Simply let me continue if you do not detect one. The sun will eventually burn out. I will roam a cold, dead earth, and there is little I can do about it.
I don't think
my
that's
kitty
it.
cat died. I shall be lonely forever.
Oh. It feels like Nosferatu thinking. I don't think that's control
I shall
fallacy.
never feel the warm sun upon my skin again. I shall never feel the warm sun upon my skin again.
Why'd you repeat it twice like that? I mean, maybe? I don't know. We haven't had
That's
one.
a control fallacy, ain't it? I mean, you could feel the sun if you really, really wanted to.
There is a significant difference between enjoying the warm sun and being burnt into ash. It is not
I don't know what type of
distortion to
vampires
acknowledge
you are.
indisputable sources of harm. Let us try again. You
I don't
didn't
know.
catch
I thought
the
maybe you
control
sparkled.
fallacy.
How do I know?
Let's try once more. The sun will eventually burn out.
Okay.
My kitty cat died. I shall be lonely forever.
Okay.
I'm sorry about your sweet kitty, but you
I
can
don't
always
know.
pick up a new one. Or
It's
there's
not- it's
lots
the
of them
same. We
waiting
can't
for
just
a loving
replace
home, so
people.
you don't need to be lonely.
But cats aren't all the same.
It was
Maybe you
just
will
an
be
example,
lonely if you
Samuel.
never,
Well spotted. But I
friend
do
another
speak from
one.
experience.
What if they're not? What
I
if
felt
what
this
if you
way
don't get
once when
along?
a pharaoh I was dating had our cat mummified. I went into a
You're
murderous
really
depression
flexing
that
all the
nearly
people you
decimated the
dated,
continent.
aren't you?
But I had the power to help myself.
What is up
all
with
along
that?
By adopting a new friend in need of a home.
Nearly decimated the continent. I had the power. Okay.
Bang, don't let me get on your bad side.
I doubt you shall see it, Samuel. Did you have more revelations to tell me about?
Yeah. Hot
See,
branding,
I
which
used
we
to be
better
in a
not
gang.
change the name
They were
of.
my whole existence. If you asked me who I was, I would have said, I'm a murdering bastard.
Because I like hot branding.
Once I got away, I realized how
It's
small-minded
a fun
I was.
name.
I was Sam before I was a murdering bastard, but that's how I was choosing to brand myself. My old gang's still around, and they're still branding themselves like that. They can't see themselves as anything but killers.
Very astute, Samuel. I favor the clinical term, however, which is labeling.
Yeah. Well, I don't prefer
You
the
correctly
clinical
discovered
term.
that
Thanks.
labeling is a reductive act. When we call ourselves names, even if we find them accurate, we create prophecies we are doomed to fulfill. For millennia, I thought of myself as a killer. It was not untrue that killing was how I
I don't
made
think
my living.
labeling is a
I
problem.
was an
Constrictive
unstoppable warrior
labeling
and
is a
assassin.
problem.
But with this label, I limited myself for ages.
Because labels
I
are
did
just
not only kill
describing.
people,
You
I
can put
also
many
killed
labels on
potential
you.
aspirations I might have had.
Feels misleading to label this thought as labeling. What did you say? I limited myself for ages. Not only kill people, I also kill potential aspirations. I guess.
See whether you can catch me doing some labeling in my next few statements.
Oh,
I
that
am
should be
so
easy.
Old, I am ancient.
I think it's labeling.
Oh, come on. I know you've been kicking around a long time, but don't go.
But according to definition, I am ancient.
I don't
It is
think
not
there's a
label,
definition of
but the
what
specific
ancient.
classification of my age.
I don't.
Well,
Ancient just means
you look
old.
pretty good for being ancient, then.
The secret is moisturizer. But let us continue.
Okay.
Call me whatever you like, but don't call me late for dinner. How shall I describe myself? Yes, I am a mass murderer.
I guess it's labeling, but that's just.
Well, that's about as clear a labeling as it gets. Yeah, we vampires tend to do a lot of killing, but reducing ourselves to killers ain't doing us any favors.
I mean,
Excellent,
that's
Samuel.
just a
You
descriptor,
are
though.
correct. Labels can be cages that we lock
Like
ourselves in.
you just labeled yourself
I was
vampires.
a mere murderer for
But you're
most of
more
my
than a
existence,
vampire.
because
You're
that is
also
how
a
I
mass
labeled
murderer.
myself.
Yeah, I did the same thing. Sam Walls, the murderer, reprobate, and good for nothing.
You just labeled yourself 3 things.
Those are not how I would describe the Sam Walls I see before me.
I don't know. I would. Apparently, they're true, and some other things
Did
He's
you have
a-
more
he's a
revelations to tell me
thinker.
about?
too. But that doesn't mean those other things are true.
I think that's all of them. Or at least the ones that were the most obvious to me.
See, labeling is fine. I think a labeling disorder is bad. See, it's like everyone can experience some anxiety and some depression, but anxiety's disorder is a problem, and a depressive disorder is a problem, even though those are emotions that everyone can still kind of experience. Same thing with labeling. You can label, that's perfectly fine, but a labeling disorder is a problem.
That
But,
you
you know, whatever.
recognize the concept of cognitive distortions at all is most impressive, Samuel.
Very
What took me
impressive,
nearly
puny
3
little brain.
millennia to understand took you merely 2 centuries.
Took you 3 millennia.
Oh, come on, you're just flattering me. I'm
You
just
know,
a
humans
goat
figured
stumbling
this
his
stuff
way
out
through
in
one
way
life.
less time.
Are you now? Tell me, Samuel, what kind of cognitive distortion are you exhibiting when you call yourself a dope?
Labeling.
Yeah, I'm doing some labeling. I gotta watch myself, huh?
Simplifying complex things. Yeah, that's all it is.
As long as we retain any humanity, we will have cognitive distortions. What we are aiming for is not to become perfect beings, but to understand and accept ourselves. As long as we can recognize cognitive distortions, we can address our real challenges. One cannot drink blood from a straw man, after all.
That's clever. That's
I ain't never
clever.
heard that one before, but I like it.
If it helps solidify the concept in your mind, then I am well satisfied. I know you came to learn from me, so I will do my best to honor your good intentions. Let us ensure that you understand the concepts of labeling, control fallacies,
Yeah,
and
I
Nosferatu
do. I
thinking.
understand them.
I will give you a series of statements, and each one will contain a cognitive distortion for you to identify. I will
Wow,
begin.
this really is educational.
If I invite over my vampire friends, I know I'm going to have to deal with guano all over the place when they turn into bats at the end of the night.
I was gonna say, I was like, guano, what are they doing? Bats, right? Got it. Okay. Control
There's a
fallacy?
control fallacy, sir. You're acting like you've got no control, but you could lay down some ground rules for guests, or some newspaper.
Or express concern to my friends that they have not been toilet trained. Very good, Samuel. Let me try another.
Yeah, always
I
express
am
that concern.
Andronicus, the ancient darkness, the scourge of the Mediterranean, the mortal's bane.
Dude, you keep telling yourself that, buddy. Yeah, that's how you is. Yeah, you keep saying that.
That's definitely
Keep
some
that up.
advanced
Don't
labeling.
stop.
Those are some hard names to get over.
No, they're good. They're cool.
You are
They're
not
impressive.
wrong.
Keep saying it.
Those names followed me for millennia. It was most stifling. Let me try another then.
We all need names like that.
If my club's revenues do not significantly increase,
It doesn't have to
I will end
stifle
up
you. It can
living on the street.
help boost you, hype you up, make you feel good about yourself. It doesn't have to be bad. If clothes revenue do not significantly increase, I will be living on the street. I'm assuming this is
There's
Nosferatu
gotta be
thinking.
Nosferatu thinking. There's a huge space between making a ton of profit and living on the street.
Indeed, you are correct.
I also kind of feel
I
like could have
run my
been some
club at
control fallacy a little bit,
considerable
but
loss, But 3,000 years of banking interest means that money is not really an object to me anyway.
Have you considered making profit off of your club?
Samuel, now I am not only intrigued by you, but also impressed. I would very much like to teach you my ways, but I must demand something of you first.
What?
Anything. I'm here to learn.
You must receive therapy yourself. I will not have you seeing clients without a commitment
That
to
makes
your own
sense.
mental health.
Oh, now, hold on just a minute. I don't know that I need therapy. I'm feeling pretty good about myself these days.
Samuel, we all need therapy to live in this world. You have been speaking in cognitive distortions since the moment you walked into my office.
I have. I didn't even notice.
They are most insidious. But I am here
I don't
to
know
help
if
you identify
insidious
and
is the word
challenge
we're
them.
looking for.
You have walked alone for too long, Samuel. Allow me to share my experience with you.
Like, yeah, but things aren't
Well,
always a
alright, if you
problem.
say so. I appreciate your
I think
taking the time
everyone
to
could
work on
use
this, old
therapy, but I
cowpoke.
don't know that everyone needs therapy. Right? There are things when things become hindrances or things become dysfunctional. Like, all these things are okay as long as they're not a problem. Control fallacy can be a problem because it does, like, affect your decisions, I guess, and you're mislooking at things, and Nosferatu thinking potentially the same thing. But, like, labeling is good. And these might not actually be problems. They might not be good, they might be bad, but they might not be bad to the point of causing problems. So again, therapy could help, but to identify them, but I don't know that they are required because they might not have enough negative consequences to, like, necessitate therapy. Labeling, that could even be good. So depending. Appreciate you taking the time.
We have all the time in the world, Samuel. But for now, you must be eager for something fresh. Please, dance, drink your fill. We will begin tomorrow.
Okay, then.
Okay, when do I get
Well,
the
sir,
therapy?
it's been an honor.
You don't have to call me sir, you know.
All right, then, Andromachos.
You even spelled it wrong.
Andromachos.
Andromachos.
Just call me Andy.
Dude. Andy, okay.
All right, Andy. I'll see you tomorrow then.
It's a little nickname, just like they used back in ancient Rome.
Dang.
Back in the
Good old
club.
immortals, sweating, blood pumping. I am thirsty. There ain't no power on this earth that'll get me on a dance floor. Maybe I'll see if the bartender's got anything for me.
Sam Lately. I don't know.
If it isn't Clint Eastwood again, how'd it go, cowboy?
Seems I'll be sticking around. Guess I'd better get used to things around here.
Good to hear. About time someone helped Andy with his work. Seems you vampires have.
Oh, you call him Andy too, huh?
Fine meeting
No,
you,
oops.
Crimson. How do you know so much about what Andy's doing?
Pillow talk. I'm his blood partner.
I knew it. I knew it. I was like, ooh, how do you know what Andy's doing? You're using that pet name thing they used in ancient Rome.
No shit.
Something
How's a
going
woman
on.
Get hooked up with an ancient vampire.
She's got blood, Sam. She's got
I'm a
blood.
rock climber. I stumbled into one of his lairs in Madagascar, found a cave while climbing a mountain, and there he was, naked in a hot tub.
Dang. Must have
Yeah,
been
it's a
sight.
weird thing to see.
You ain't kidding, cowboy. Didn't expect a luxury apartment with a gorgeous naked vampire inside of a mountain.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's
We hit
super
it
weird.
off, and he asked me to come back here with him. I like an adventure, so I said, what the hell? I'll date the gorgeous Dracula. But what are you doing talking to me, cowboy? The blood's running hot on the dance floor, and these kids don't mind a little biting.
Ain't no way I'm dancing. There's gotta be a better way to get something fresh to drink.
Reinhard, look. It's the sexy old guy again.
You should buy us a drink, old guy. You'll probably get lucky. Actually, you'll definitely get lucky.
See, who are these little mortals? They're very arrogant.
Pleasures of the flesh ain't exactly what
But
I'm
I thought
after
they were
tonight.
vampires. It seemed a little different. But, dude, you guys are certainly full of yourself for just being puny little mortals.
That's because you haven't experienced these pleasures with us yet. Buy us a drink and you will discover great satisfaction by uns.
No. Not my type. Alcohol's bad for them. I don't really like drinking, and a lot of people will often take that to mean that I will judge people who do. Like, that's fine. It's just not, I don't really like it personally. And no, I don't have a problem with it. I'm definitely not going to tell people. Like, a lot of people, I'll be like, people will be like, oh, do you want to, go hang out and drink or something? And yeah, it's a common assumption. People will be like, oh, well, how dare you? Like, they get really mad. Like, I told them, how dare they drink? They're immoral, and they're going to hell. It's like, dude, no, I just don't want any, thanks. Like, I don't really like it. Yeah, and I mean, because I know they have a lot of people who do tell them that sort of stuff, and so they get really defensive. But like, I'm not gonna tell people alcohol is bad for them. Like, you do you. If that's what you want, I don't know. I just don't want to. Tell them I don't have the money. I probably do. I'm an ancient vampire. They can support themselves. I mean, I don't know exactly what angle we're coming from with this. That's kind of a weird thing to say. We're just like, oh, you're not my type. Not into the
I ain't buying you a
threesome
drink. You
thing.
ain't exactly my type.
Oh, we don't want to marry you. We just want to have fun with you.
No thanks.
You kids are too much.
What? Don't make me say all of these. I don't want
I ain't
to.
buying you a drink. I think I'd be insulting your economic status.
Mein Lieber, don't worry about us. We just like to feel special. We have
Lucrative jobs in IT. Okay.
Oh yeah? Well, maybe you can help me. See, my printer died again. Getting real tired of these things.
Oh, please, we are here to party.
Yeah, it's a
But
weird
get a
thing to
laser
bring up,
printer.
Sam.
Well, thanks for the tip. That ink seems to be more valuable than blood.
don't have money. I
ain't
don't want to.
buying you a drink. All I got are good old-fashioned dollars.
I like American money. All we have on our money are buildings. You have all the sexy old men.
All
Sure.
right, I'll buy it. Which of them old men are sexy?
I like Hamilton. His posture is just so powerful.
Okay.
There is a dollar coin that has Eisenhower's face on it.
Okay.
Oh, you are right. Eisenhower is, how do you Americans say, a snack?
You like the nerdy type.
I get it. You like older men.
Oh, alcohol is bad for
I
you.
ain't buying
I
you a
don't
drink. This
wanna.
stuff's terrible for you.
Gentophile. Yeah. She does tend to like older guys.
Are you making a joke? We're at a bar.
It's okay. He's just trying to be protective. Aren't you, Opa?
Opa.
You know, I think the drinks here ain't strong enough for you two. Well, these kids just ain't gonna leave me alone.
Alright, let's buy him a drink.
Stop teasing the cowboy, Kinder. They're just messing with you. Drinks are free here.
Dang, really? I ain't never been to a saloon with free hooch.
Yeah, it is. Is father in another language.
Call it a drink exchange.
I thought it was Korean though. But it's two P's, so maybe it's something in German as well. Like Oma is grandmother, so I don't know if Opa is grandfather.
Huh. So, everyone here knows they might be sharing blood?
Only as long as there's consent. We like to create a safe environment here.
Good.
Why don't you take Reinhard and Maxie here back to the kink room?
I don't think I consented to
Wait,
that.
kink room?
Mm-hmm. You're not in Kansas anymore, cowboy. We are not afraid of sex here.
Okay.
I'm from Missouri, but point taken.
Nobody has to do anything they don't want to do in there. Just have fun and drink your fill, handsome. I'm sure I'll be seeing plenty of you. Maxie, Reinhard, this is one of our special customers.
Ach so, ein Vampir. I'm thinking we are all getting lucky then.
My neck scrubs with anticipation.
Dang. Guess I'm going to a kink room then. Thanks, Crimson.
I knew a man who wore this much leather couldn't be boring.
Yeah, well, you got me pegged.
Is that what we are doing now? Give me the document and I will sign myself.
Well, I really ain't in Missouri
Okay.
no more.
Oh, your teeth look perfect.
This got weird.
That's the plan. Who's going
What happened
first?
to the therapy
Oh,
thing?
me.
Well, step right on up.
Okay,
I'm
whatever.
not there, that tick.
Shoot, must have hit an artery.
For real.
My neck is over here.
Yeah,
What are we-
know,
what am I
was
supposed to
just
do?
distracted.
Oh, bite the veins. My bad.
Dang it,
Oops.
quit moving.
I am not moving, mein Liebling. Try once more.
There we go.
Oh,
Oh,
Okay.
that's a good thing.
Is it my turn yet?
Sure thing. Come on over. Oh, where'd your neck go?
It's right here.
What?
Waiting for you.
It was definitely a vein.
I swear you moved.
I didn't, Opa.
I'm hit. What?
being
What?
a
Oh,
good
there are
girl.
other veins.
Can't you take that dang collar off?
No,
Yeah, it's really
I
a
like
problem.
it. Try again. Oh, Reinhard.
Okay, there we go.
The hot old
I was aiming for the
vampire
middle of the
woman.
teeth, but it was fine to get over there.
I feel it so high.
Reinhard, mein Zucker Fledermaus. Ich bin so müde.
I will get us a taxi cab, Liebchen. Und du, cowboy? Next time we will talk about that thing.
Yeah, I
sure
don't
thing,
know.
fella. You can help me with my new laser printer.
Okay.
Now that I've had something to drink, I should probably get to my coffin.
Samuel, wait a moment. I see you got your fill. Are you heading out?
Yeah, a really weird mini
Yeah, I
game in
figured I
there.
could use some shut-eye. I locked
Also
up my
kind of
coffin over at
annoying.
the storage center.
But you know, I guess if they're going for the
Storage center.
vampire thing,
Please, you can
sure.
use my guest coffin. I insist. You must be well rested for the challenges ahead.
Guess I got a big night
Challenges
tomorrow, huh?
ahead?
I should get a good day's sleep.
That's
Wonderful.
a weird
Please,
way to put
follow
it.
me.
Well, dang. This is mighty plush. Guess it's one of them smart coffins. Let's see what's on
Cute.
TV. Hey, I remember
Smart
this movie.
coffin or
We were so
Japanese
proud to
capsule
finally get
hotel?
some representation. Not sure I should stay up watching movies, though. Well, ain't much else to do in here. I think it's about time I hit the hay. Hope I'm cut out for all this.
Samuel, good evening. I hope you slept well.
Like the dead, as they say.
I was hoping to save you some breakfast, but I've already sent them on their way.
We ate a lot
Oh,
last
that's
night.
all right. I'm still pretty full from last night.
Yeah.
Them goth types were practically throwing themselves at me.
I am not surprised.
Yeah.
Perhaps I should be concerned that some of my guests will follow you home.
Well, gosh, if I still
Might.
had mortal circulation, I'd be blushing.
Why are you so embarrassed, Samuel?
Ah, hell. Guess
See,
we
I
should just
never
save
get
it for
that.
therapy,
Like,
huh?
I don't have
Wanna get
mortal
started now?
circulation, and it's like, I don't know. I think they run into weird once they start getting so biological. You run into weird, like they shouldn't bother, right? Because there's gonna be what's the word I'm looking for? Oh my gosh, I'm blanking on the word. Like, it's not gonna hold up. It's not gonna be consistent, right? Because like, how do you move then if you don't have any sort of circulation? Just don't even bring it up. If you don't have an explanation for it, don't bring it up. And I bet they don't. So,
If you like.
all right, let's have our
I'm eager to
therapy.
get going. Let loose, Doc.
Very well. Let's start with the first question any therapist asks then. What brought you to me? Why is becoming a therapist so important to you?
Well, gosh, I remember what it was like, being all angry, hungry, and scared all the time. It ain't no way to live. When I see vampires acting the way I used to, I just need to show them there's more to unlife.
And why is that up to you?
Unlife? That's interesting that you
of
call
all
it that.
people, know how lost our kind can be. Preying on the weak, dating mortal high schoolers. I've got to make them see their potential.
I was gonna say that's
what I'm
creepy,
here
but
for,
then I
know
remembered
it.
he's like talking about all the vampires in the movies and stuff.
That is a lot
Twilight,
of responsibility
such things.
to place on yourself.
You got a funny look in your eye. Am I doing one of them distortion things?
You are most perceptive, yes. Perhaps you can tell me what it is. When you say you are here to make vampires see the world differently, in what way are you distorting reality?
Ooh, a control fallacy?
Well, I guess that's a control fallacy, right? I can't assume I'll be able to help other vampires the way I was helped.
Very good, Samuel. Control fallacies
Okay.
are hard to avoid when one feels strongly about something. Your fate.
I mean, but
is
he
not
never
to
said that he
transform
will. He
every
just like
vampire
wants
you
to
ever meet,
try. It's
even those who are your
fine.
clients. You will do what you can do, and that is enough. But
Yeah.
I am eager to learn how you develop this desire to help our kin find a different way of thinking.
He just said he wants to do. It's okay to want something and like know that you can't achieve it.
Well, like I told you when I first V-mailed you, I was a real nasty son of a bitch when I first became a vampire. When I look back and see what a no-account piece of shit I was, I ain't nothing but embarrassed. It all seems pretty stupid to me now. Here we are living forever and all we can do is kill? It's the dumbest thing I ever did here.
I am going to stop you for a moment. Stupid, no account piece of shit,
That's an
nasty
easy
son
one.
of a bitch, dumbest thing.
Sometimes tell him like it is. Maybe he was
Do you hear the way you are talking
just
about
that bad.
yourself?
With respect, sir, I earned all them names. I killed women and children. Half the ghost towns out west are my doing.
Aware
I
distortions
didn't think of
more
nobody
so
but
than
myself.
them being bad. I guess, but like the control fallacy wasn't really a control fallacy distortion. He was like, I want to be able to do this, which is fine to want something, like, and the labeling, like, I mean, he knows that he's obviously labeling himself as something, but he's not being restrictive
Pretend
about
you
it.
are my therapist. If I sat here and called myself a no-account piece of shit, what would you tell me?
I'd say you were doing some labeling. And I guess I'd tell you to look at yourself a little more kindly.
I mean, yeah,
Extend
but
the same compassion to yourself then, Samuel. How are you to move on from being a nasty son of a
Well, he's
bitch
not labeling
if you are
himself
labeling
that
yourself?
now. He's saying he used to be.
If you wish to be a guide to other vampires, you must start with compassion for them and for yourself.
Sometimes there's hard
Now
truths.
that you've gotten all that horrible name calling out of the way, please tell me, how did you find your sense of purpose?
Well, I was on the run, you see. The Wild West was ending, and the Pinkertons were starting to get the better of my gang.
Not the Pinkertons. Can't believe the Pinkertons are still a thing.
I went into hiding and found a strange group of folks out in the country. They knew I was an outlaw right away, but they didn't judge me for it. They didn't even care that I was a vampire. They welcomed me like a friend, even shared their blood with me. They taught me how to appreciate the beauty of the night, and I started seeing things I'd never noticed before. They taught me my letters, philosophy, and how to question things instead of being scared of them. I think about them every day of my own life. They somehow freed themselves of all the judgments of the time and were better off for it.
These must have been the 19th century American transcendentalists, yes?
Yes, sir. I'm glad I died when I did, because their like just don't exist no more. Once my community died out, I started walking. That was something else they taught me how to do. There ain't nothing like having a walk and a think. I walked in nature for about 90 years.
That's a long
and
time.
just took in all the grace and beauty of my country.
It's like Henry David Thoreau. Walden. Amounts of time.
I guess I was kind of selfish, though. I should have been helping other vampires the way the transcendentalists helped me.
Why?
No.
Why waste 90 years walking when I should have been helping others? Seems pretty obvious to me. I could have done a lot of good in that time.
But your
You were
should
thinking.
turns that which you could find fulfilling into a duty. You create an extrinsic motivator. Truth statements are another cognitive distortion, something created by your own mind. Nature asks almost nothing of you. Even if your should comes from a place of good, it creates undue pressure. And what do we do once we are pressured? We resent the shoulds. We procrastinate. And as you know, we have a lot of time to procrastinate.
You got that right.
Want to
Why
fight
do
back
today
on
what you
this,
could do next
but
century?
like I kind of get where they're coming from.
Exactly. Should statements remove the intrinsic joy from that which you find fulfilling?
Hold on, though. Ain't there some things we really should do?
Of course, there are things we must do. But nature herself tells us what they are. We invent the rest. Here, let me give you an exercise.
Yeah, but it's like I should pay my rent. Nature doesn't make me pay my rent. I don't want to.
Listen closely. See whether you can find the should statement that is a distortion. I should go to the vampire dentist. You know what they say. If you have bad fangs, you get bad blood. I should drink blood today. I should
No.
take my blood partner Crimson out on a date.
I guess that's the
Saying you
should
should
statement.
take Crimson out on a date is a should statement.
Maybe you
turn something
should.
you want to do into something you have to do.
That's right, Samuel. You know, I
Oh, that's
couldn't
true,
be more
that's true.
pleased with you. Your time in nature was
Bit
clearly
intellectually
well
frustrating.
spent.
Yeah. Like, but I get what they mean. I get what they mean. But making it just be about like things that nature makes you do versus like this is a great example though of a should statement because like you probably should, but wording it like that does make it a duty rather than something you want to do. Phrasing it a different way would be better. Even if it's not something you want to do, saying I sure think Crimson would like if I took her on a date. Like that's something you want to do. You want to make her happy. Like so, you know, I get that the rephrasing of it and the way you talk to yourself is good, but I think they're missing a gap of things here that are still shoulds that aren't like limiting the things that must happen to nature-based things is a little
Well,
limiting, but I get what they
suppose.
mean.
But if you don't
It's a
mind my
good
saying
point.
so,
This one's
I hope
fine.
you're treating that mortally
Labeling I
human.
have an issue with because like they don't specifically mention, like they don't give the distinction of when labeling is good, labeling is bad, but here they do distinguish to a certain extent, oversimplifying, but they do distinguish should between good and bad should statements.
Thank you. Please, ask her yourself. I imagine she would share her blood with you. You look like her type.
Hold on. I've only been in Europe for a couple of days. I ain't gonna go after my teacher's girlfriend.
That's
She
smart.
does what she wishes, and that is why I chose her as my blood partner.
Right, that's fair enough.
Samuel, even if it beats no longer, you have a
Whatever
good
sort of
heart.
relationship you have,
I
we're
think
gonna
you will
respect
be an
it.
excellent therapist.
So far, that good heart of mine hasn't amounted to much, but I'm willing to give it my best shot.
You are uncomfortable with praise, aren't you, Samuel? Every time I say something positive, you find a way to negate it.
Oh yeah, I learned that you shouldn't do that because it makes people mad when they compliment you and you're like, shoot them down, and they're like, that's rude.
I just don't think I should be doing any bragging. I spent my first 50 years killing. I spent the
You
next
shouldn't
90
do that.
walking in the woods. I've tried to
Just
walk
say
a better
thank
path
you.
since then, but I ain't no saint, Auntie.
I did not say you were. Having met several so-called saints, I can attest that none of them were either. I understand your discomfort, Samuel. I, too,
Yeah, a
have
lot of the
done
saints are a
terrible
little
things that I
questionable
cannot
sometimes if you
erase. But is
actually learn
erasing
about
the
them.
good I have done worthwhile?
I have some ancestors farther up my line who are saints, and their miracles are questionable at best. Just saying. I can say that because they're my ancestors, so it's fine.
Well, I guess when you put it like that, it sounds kind of silly.
It's another cognitive distortion, one that mortal psychologists call disqualifying the positive. I understand that the actions of your past are difficult to bear, but what we are here to do is accept reality with both its positive and negative aspects. I am not saying that you should disqualify your negative actions, but merely note when you disqualify the positive ones. Let us try an exercise.
It was
See
really
whether you can
difficult, though.
challenge
I'm
me
already
when
thinking
I
of it right now.
disqualify my positive deeds. I am Andromachos, one of the most powerful vampires alive.
Labeling.
Before I became the vampire I am now, I did exceptionally terrible things.
I mean, you're
I
not
have
disqualifying the
defied
positive.
the
You're just
innocent. I have killed countless people.
okay.
The good I now do pales in comparison to the evil I have done.
Oh, that's
That's the
disqualifying
one.
the positive.
You're literally disqualifying the positive by comparing it to the evil stuff you done.
Well done, Samuel. I believe the recognition of this distortion will serve you well when you start to see clients tomorrow.
Whoa, tomorrow? I only just started learning these here cognitive distortion things.
I will, of course, be with you. You needn't worry. I can sense your instincts and will help you.
But tomorrow, I just don't feel ready yet.
My friend, we are never truly ready. But if it would ease your concerns, we can practice with further examples. Would that be helpful to you?
I don't know. I think I'm ready.
I think I'm good.
All right, Samuel. You must be hungry now. I suggest you get a liter inside you. We have a big night tomorrow.
How much is a liter?
Just get enough to drink, Samuel. We will not be able to work if you are hungry or tired.
A proper American knows how much a liter is. It's half of a 2-liter.
Now, please excuse me. I do have a date with Crimson tonight. I suspect I shall not return until nearly morning.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah,
have
of
fun.
course. I hope you have a nice night out, Mr. Andy.
You as well, Samuel.
Mr.
Rest in
Andy.
peace. Samuel, glad to see you are awake. Your first client is on his
Well,
way.
we didn't have to do any mini games. Good.
What, already? Look, Mr. Andy, sir, are you sure I'm ready for this? These are people's brains I'm messing with.
Fear not, my
Andy's
friend.
here with us.
You are a powerful vampire in your own right.
He'll help.
To be so young and have so much empathy.
Yeah, we can't
is
disqualify
quite a
the
gift.
positive.
All you need to do is listen, and I know the truth will reveal itself to you.
Shucks, I wish I had your confidence.
Well, to a limited extent, I can see the future. If
Oh.
you're about to misinterpret a client's distortions, I will set you back on the right path.
You can see the future.
It's not that impressive, really. You start to see the patterns after 1,000 years or so.
Okay.
Well, dang.
Disqualifying the
If seeing
positive.
the future ain't impressive, that's gotta be a distortion. Disqualifying the positive, it's gotta be.
Surprise minigame is part of the initial demo. Oh, maybe,
You barely require my aid as it is. If you need guidance, I will provide it to you telepathically.
maybe it's just like every couple days. We
Don't
have
think
to
about
do
it
that.
too much. When you are 3000, such things will cease to impress you. Let us look at your first client's case file.
Dr. Drain, huh? You ain't got no first name?
430. Male, English. Dr. Drain is a class of 1614 graduate of the Royal College of Physicians. He has been studying the nature of blood for the last several centuries. Became a vampire after a post-mortem blood transfusion experiment. Now runs a global pharmaceutical research company. It is now concerned that he has developed an addiction to a drug of his own formulation. Suggestion detected strong irritability on the phone. Investigate Drain's drinking and sleeping habits.
Many vampires go by one name.
What a con.
Families and titles seem to become more abstract after a certain age.
Huh. So is it funny that he kept the title?
Indeed, you catch on quickly, despite your habit of disqualifying the positive. I will let you work now. I shall be meditating in my coffin, but I will sense when you need my help.
But
Yeah, I thought you were going to be here with us.
Samuel, I know you can handle this. Be yourself, and all will be well.
Be able to sense when we're doing it wrong. Okay. Bye.
Satan bless it all, I hate flying.
Aren't you lovely?
Hey there. God's blood, what on earth are you?
A cowboy.
My name's Sam. I'm the new therapist. Make yourself comfortable, Dr. Drain.
And also a therapist. We're not going to label or anything, though.
And American as well. Good God. It's not enough for you lot to take over the world of the living. Even the halls of the dead aren't safe from you.
Excuse me, you're English.
Oh well. I suppose your lot are all into this touchy-feely stuff, aren't you?
Yes.
And ignorance, even American ignorance, is bliss, I suppose. Oh, sweet
Oh, wow.
ignorance,
I'm talking
how
to
I do
TikTok.
wish I knew thee. Damn it, how am I gonna work with this fella? I gotta ask Annie.
Are you all right, Samuel?
No, I'm fine. Was I supposed to be pressing
You
buttons?
gave me this fella as my first client?
Why not?
I was
He
distracted.
is clearly hiding very little about his state of mind.
How am I supposed to help him when he already sees me as the bad guy?
Use your instincts, Samuel. Think about how you have felt in your darkest hours.
What is this force projection
What
business
does this
he's
poor
doing?
vampire want?
He wants to complain.
I think he just wants to complain.
Perceptive, Samuel. He can hardly stop himself, can he?
So, what? I just let him complain?
Of course. Just give him a starting point to let it all out. It will make him feel better.
Well,
Okay.
if you say so.
Just checking. That's how I would handle the situation. Sometimes
Don't
people just
worry,
need to
Samuel.
vent.
You are doing wonderfully. I will release your time now.
Well, are you just going to sit there?
Sorry, I was having a
just gonna ask how your
weird
trip here was.
conversation.
My trip? My trip was bloody wonderful. Until my familiar got a flat tire and I had to fly 30 kilometers here as a bat. I hate being a bat and I hate flying. Do you know an owl tried to eat me?
Really?
Me, a creature that has lived for centuries, treated like common prey. I'm surprised he was even interested. You should see what an ugly little beastie I am when I transform. All I could do was screech and squeak until he went away. Well, I suppose I'm alive, in a manner of speaking anyway. You all right there, pal? Yes, I'm fine. Well, I'm not, of course. I wouldn't be here otherwise. But for the sake of conversational integrity, fine. I take it you read my case file and know why I'm here?
Yes. His addiction.
You're here for an addiction problem. Yes. Embarrassing, isn't it?
No.
What's to be embarrassed about? I remember when Ulysses S. Grant was president. Didn't seem to bother him. Oh, well, of course. How wonderful it is that I share the
This
mental
guy-
failings of people who only live a single lifetime.
Yeah, not to mention you're referring to an American here. He's not gonna look kindly
Hey,
on
come on
that.
now. There's a part of us that's still mortal. Can't help that, just like we can't help being dead. So I'm discovering. Look, I just need some tips and I'll be on my way. Just give me all the tricks. Whatever one does to make addictions go away. Tips? Let me think.
There are no easy
Partner, there
solutions.
ain't no
I'm so
tips
sorry.
that'll magically cure you, but I'm here to listen. You know, I never in my life thought anyone would ever call me partner. Like partner, but not with a T.
Partner.
And I know how you English love your tea.
Hugs won't cure an addiction.
Thank goodness.
And then
we
you
can
just get
still
addicted to
process tea.
hugs.
We cannot live on blood alone. I appreciate the concern, though. I must admit, I rather saw myself above this whole addiction thing. I tell you
It's
what,
biological.
let's not worry about being
It's
above or below anything. You're here
Yeah.
now, so let's see what we can do.
yeah.
What exactly are you addicted to? It's a form of plasma, a catalytic compound of my own design, a necessary component of my own scientific goal. You're losing me. Well, let me try to make it simple. I have been able to replicate and even alter the molecular patterns that vampiric erythrocyte surface receptors receive. Our unique physiology gives us an increased ligand affinity, which is how we are able to process blood the way that we do. I can extend this receptivity
Yeah,
and thus
sure is
achieve my
helping.
true goal: synthetic blood, freedom from the hunger that plagues us, and hope for all humanity.
That's really good.
Well, dang, that sounds pretty impressive, Doc. Well, it doesn't work without a vampiric catalyst, and that is the plasma I am addicted to. Pathetic, isn't it? I have spent 400 years trying to steal the secret of blood, only to be engulfed by it, like Prometheus walking into a fireplace. Pathetic? Doc, where the heck would you get a word like that? You've come up with a synthetic blood. Man, I can barely get my spurs on some mornings. Maybe you've had a setback or two, but give yourself a little credit, compadre. Credit?
This
For
guy
wasting
reminds me
400
of
years? Practically speaking,
Dr.
I'm in
Hyde.
the same place as I was back when King James was in power. Only now I have a drug problem. Perhaps I must face facts. My professor was right. Nothing we ever do will make a damned bit of difference.
Samuel, listen to him. Do you recognize his patterns of thought?
There's some distortions in there, ain't there?
Yeah.
I knew you would sense them. Invite him to talk more about this failure of his.
I'll do my best. Now hold on just a minute there, cowpoke.
Yeah,
I've heard you talk a
cowpoke.
lot about failure. But it sure sounds to me like you ain't thinking clearly if you think you're a failure. I am a realist, that's all. Look at me. 400 years of study and still dabbling with leukocytes. I don't know many people who would call working with leukocytes dabbling. I mean, I gotta
Yeah.
admit, I
think
have
it's
no earthly
disqualifies
clue
the
what
po-
you're talking about.
disqualifying the
So
positive.
unless you made up all them science terms, I think you might be doing more than playing with a chemistry set. Perhaps. But if we consider all there is to know about blood, I know precious little.
Yeah,
But
well.
you know something. Yes, I concede I might know something about blood. I would hope
More
so
than me.
after 400 years. You still got more knowledge about blood than most, whether it's been 4 years or 400 years, amigo. Let's get back to what you were saying, though. I'm saying I am surely the oldest, most well-studied doctor in the world. I should have achieved more than this.
Oh, should. I was like, that's also labeling, but we'll go with that.
Well,
That
who
definitely
said you should
should.
have achieved more? Isn't it obvious? I should have something to show for 400 years of work.
I do this one a lot. Maybe that's why this is so obvious to me and how it's so I can see how helpful it can be because I definitely do this a lot.
And what happens if you don't? Absolutely nothing at all. Well, that's my point. That is not as encouraging as you think it is. Ain't meant to be encouraging, just showing you a little reality. Well, it's all my fault, really. I cannot seem to motivate my scientists to reach the necessary level of dedication. It's always shocking to me how little urgency mortals have around death.
Control fallacy.
So it's all your fault that you haven't come up with the perfect synthetic blood. It can't be anyone else's fault. Only I have the skill, the knowledge, and the experience. Pardon me for saying so, Doc, but it sounds like what you're doing is pretty dang complicated. It sounds to me like you're some kind of god if you expect control over life itself. Please, I am a scientist, not a spiritualist. It is not control I seek, but understanding. And are you ever gonna have perfect understanding? No, of course not. I'm not a wizard. So how about not putting saving the world on one person, Doc? That is a simplification, but I take your point. As I was saying, now that I'm addicted to my own drug, I have joined the ranks of mortal celebrities in my utter irrelevance.
labeling as irrelevant? Or doesn't feel like it's Nosferatu thinking. Or maybe it
That's
is.
a pretty dark
Yeah,
read on things.
actually it is.
You know, lots of folks get over their yes, but not me.
Moonshine thinking.
I'm trying to tell you that even if you are addicted, that ain't the end, hermano. You got a lot of life and opportunity left in you. If you can call this life. Now hold on there. That's what I call Nosferatu thinking. Straight
I think
from the coffin.
Nosferatu thinking is my
Life
least
ain't all
favorite of
black
all
and
these.
white.
It's kind of the
It's
hardest
got
for me
its
to pin
shades of gray
down.
too, you know. Oh, well played, cowpoke. Perhaps I am being a little dramatic.
Because it feels very similar to labeling, but their labeling is very obviously labeling.
Yes, I'm aware that in reality progress has been made.
So I just need to
this
remember
point.
that vague labeling is Nosferatu thinking.
But I didn't come here to ask for a pat on the back and to be told I'm a good boy.
But I can do that.
Now, you
Isn't
might
that, is
be
that
right,
helpful?
But I hear they do some of that stuff downstairs. Yes, we all know very well that the Continentals are more sexually liberated than we are. But as I say, I don't want all this therapy
It
stuff.
doesn't have to be
I just
sexual.
want
You
to
can
stop
be
using this
a
damn
good
drug.
boy without being sexual. One is desperation, the other is constriction. Yeah. But it's still kind of like it still is kind of constriction, I'd say.
So what's so good
Like-
about this stuff anyway? Why do you like it? I'm not certain. I don't remember what happens after I take it, but I wake up feeling, how do I put this, alive.
Feels like Nosferatu thinking is a type of labeling. That makes
Well,
sense.
that don't sound so bad. A good nap can make me feel like a new man.
Like how a simile is a type of metaphor. As I say, as I use a simile about that. That's very meta.
I'm not talking
Okay.
about feeling refreshed. I mean, I feel alive.
Is he gonna be labeling
if
as
I'm
well?
Someone else. Someone who lives. And I wake up and find, oh gracious me, I am not depressed. You mean
Does
to
he
tell
have
me that
all
you're
of
going to
the
sleep depressed
fallacies?
every night?
All of the distortions, I mean.
Oh, nothing of the sort. Oh well, I'm glad to hear that. You are assuming that I can simply go to sleep and my global scientific enterprise will run itself. Oh wait just a gosh darn minute. You're telling me you don't sleep? Yes, it's not as
That's
though
a
we can get
problem.
much deader already, and I have work to do.
Yo, actually, no. What? Fair
So
enough. You
you're
have a
not
point.
sleeping,
You have
and you're
a
always
very good
depressed.
point.
I think we're starting to get somewhere.
But also, if you're depressed, maybe the sleep might
Oh,
help.
don't be such a
But I
bumpkin.
don't know. I
If
have
you're
such
a
bad
sapient
dreams. They make me
individual,
depressed
aware of
a
the
lot.
world around you, depression is the only sensible reaction. It has nothing to do with sleep.
Oh. Hmm. It feels like a should statement, to be honest. But I feel like that's not it. But we're gonna say that anyway. Yeah.
Depression is the only sensible reaction.
Yeah.
He makes the goths downstairs
He's saying
seem
that he
almost joyous in
should
their
be
perspectives, doesn't
depressed.
he?
Oh, don't be such a bumpkin. If you are a sapient individual, aware of the world around you, depression is the only sensible reaction. It has Come on now, it's a
Nosferatu
big
thinking.
world out
Again,
there.
I
and
don't
different
like
things are
Nosferatu
depressing to
thinking.
different people. Everyone reacts to things differently. Ain't it true that
But I guess it's a
sensible
should
person,
statement,
as you
but it's
call
not
it,
a should statement the
might
way
even
that
be a
they
different
mean.
degree of depressed?
I'm thinking linguistically. I need to stop
Very well,
thinking like
I suppose I might have been
linguistically
using a
about
bit of
things.
mild hyperbole. Mild is putting it mildly, buckaroo. Buckaroo? Now I'm even more depressed. Regardless, I didn't come here to be a whiner. Oh, boo-hoo, life is hard. Yes, we all know it's hard.
Labeling? He's
Now,
calling
why'd
himself
you
a
say
whiner?
coming and talking to me makes you a whiner? Is that not what I currently am?
I mean, you are kind of
Sounds
whining.
to me
Let's be
like you're
real,
expressing
Sam.
yourself. Whiner is the
Oh,
word you use.
you know what? That's a great.
Yeah,
That's a
if you wanna
positive
call it
spin.
whining, that's up
That's
to
good.
you. But that's entirely your label.
I mean, yeah, but it's you can
Oh,
be a
very well,
whiner.
call
There's
it
nothing wrong with
moaning
being
or
a
whinging
whiner.
if you prefer.
Please don't say whinging.
Moaning, whinging, belly aching. Still, I don't believe I shall be
Wait,
using
blah,
the term
blah.
belly aching in any case. But as I was saying, In the moments I wake up, I feel free. I suppose it must be what being an ignoramus feels like. So you're
Well,
telling
find
me
the
you
positive.
feel good when you wake up, and then you call yourself an ignoramus. Before you even get a chance to reflect on feeling good, you're insulting yourself.
Yeah.
That's
Don't
what
do
I like
that.
to call disqualifying the positive.
That's what you like to call, huh?
I'm simply stating facts. Stating facts shouldn't impede an argument. What good is that fact doing anyone? It's about as useful as an empty holster, lest I somehow forget that you are a cowboy. About this drug, though. Oh, very well. I suppose I might be discounting my experience. I don't know how to say this, amigo. You really don't like letting yourself be happy. Honestly, I'm failing to see the problem with taking this stuff. Seems like it's making you get the rest you need, and it makes you feel good. What's the problem?
The problem is
First of
probably
all,
the
I do not
addiction.
need to rest.
It's not a
And
choice.
Partaking of this plasma does have downsides. What kind of downsides? I do not know what happens when I partake of the substance. However, when I wake up, I feel refreshed. But I also smell of blood and sex. Once I even woke up wearing a football jersey. It was most distasteful.
British football, right?
I guess you
Soccer.
must be having some kind of good time. That is not my idea of a good time. I'm
Maybe
Dr.
it is
Dre.
when you've been
I am
drinking the
intelligent
plasma.
and worldly, not some ill-bred monster. I don't go gallivanting into godforsaken places to engage in depraved coitus and the consumption of dirty blood. It sounds to me like you're real good at denying yourself things. Well, I should be better at it.
Oh,
You know,
obviously.
Doc, a wise old vampire
You said the
recently told
magic
me something
word.
I'm about to tell you. You keep talking about the things you should be doing. You, compadre, are shooting all over yourself. Oh, well, that is vivid, isn't it? I can now add incontinence to my already considerable list of faults.
Yeah, I don't know why you
I'm
had to
being
say it like that,
serious.
Sam.
I'm listening to you tell me I should be doing this, and I shouldn't be doing that. But who gave you all them shoulds and shouldn'ts? I don't know. It
His
shouldn't
own moral
matter, should
code.
it?
His own
I've been
moral
dead for over
code. Let him
400 years.
be. It's okay to have
It's the oldest
expectations
stuff
about
that sticks
yourself.
with us, amigo. We all got traumas. Heck, we're dead men. That's traumatic no matter what.
But I get how letting go
What
of these are
you've
also
been
good.
through a
I don't.
lot.
I just don't think you're
Don't rope
explaining
yourself
yourself
up so
well,
tight.
Sam.
Listen, we're doing good work already, I know it. Now, let's not push too hard. I would really like you to think about where all them shoulds are coming from before we meet again. And be good to yourself, all right, partner? Don't feel like you gotta go cold turkey on that plasma stuff. Yes, well, all the same, I'd rather not do it at all.
I remember I saw a while, and everyone's probably also heard this as well, but anytime you like if you talk to yourself about something, right? Like I think I first heard this in terms of like art, right? You draw a piece of art and you say, "Oh, Cel, you did a good job." Right? If that's how you communicate yourself, or even if you're like, Cel, you didn't do a very good job there. If that's how you're talking to yourself, you're talking to yourself in the second person, which means the speaker is an outside voice. So you're actually projecting what you think other people are thinking onto you rather than what you actually think. But if you're saying it in the I person, like, "Oh, I did a good job," then it is thoughts that are actually coming from yourself, and they're not it's not any sort of external stimulus forcing you to think that way or suggesting those thoughts on you. Right? Thoughts that come from the second person when you talk to yourself are suggestions from outside influences rather than your own thinking. But if you say I, it is more of your own thinking. Which again is probably way too black and white of an explanation for that, but something to keep in mind is when you talk to yourself, are you saying you, or are you saying I?
Is that actually gonna happen, though? It might. You're dipping into it tonight, aren't you? I was thinking about it. All right,
Because you should listen to what
Just
you
give
say about
yourself a
yourself,
little
but
compassion.
care a little
That's
bit
all
less
I'm
about
asking.
what the use when you're talking to yourself, what everyone else is thinking, right?
I'll admit.
Hold
you've
yourself
given
to
me
your own
some things to
standards,
think
not
about.
other people's.
Not pleasant ones, mind. You can handle it, partner. You're way smarter than I am. Yes, well, that is certainly true. Very well. I shall do some reflecting, inasmuch as our kind can reflect. I shall see you in precisely 4 weeks, then. Farewell, Sam.
Farewell.
Masterfully done, Samuel. I knew you would do well, but that doesn't make me any less pleased.
Well, that was
Yeah.
a hell of a rush.
And you
That
should make
fella's
dinner.
holding
Okay,
on
yeah, we'll
tighter
go
than
make
a
dinner.
holster to a gunslinger's hip.
I'll probably be ending stream here soon.
It felt real good to help him look at himself a little more kindly.
Good, Samuel. Treasure this feeling. But also rest. Go downstairs, get something to drink, relax in your coffin. Next week you shall see a new client. I think they will be an
Oh, these are
interesting
once a
challenge for you.
week.
I bid you good
Okay.
evening, Samuel. Rest in peace.
You too, Andy.
Bye,
Well,
Andy.
I guess it's time I got me some grub.
Get me some grub. The grub is just blood. He doesn't reflect in a mirror. Oh, yeah, it's cool.
Well, that's it, I guess. My first client. Can't believe I'm doing this therapy stuff already.
Good job, Sam.
Sure could use a drink. I'll check in with Crimson.
I'm proud of you.
Well, if it isn't Yosemite Sam, how you doing tonight, partner?
Better already, hearing from someone from the States who knows the lingo.
I'm not from any states, cowpoke. District of Columbia girl here.
I figured you must have been coastal.
You
seem
know
a little
what
more
that...
polished than I do.
Coastal is a big word for DC. It's like, I mean, it's East Coast, but it's not on the coast. So I don't know if I would call it coastal.
You should hear my German.
Oh, maybe some other time. My brain's full tonight. I had my first therapy session with a real client.
Oh, yeah? How do you think it went?
Pretty okay. But we're not gonna say it was
I reckon it
awful.
was a
No,
bullseye
we're not
on
gonna
my end.
disqualify the positive.
You should have seen me. Labeling, blam, disqualifying the positive, kapow.
I'm glad to hear it. Someone has got to sort these vamps out. They know how to hold
But I
on to their
question
problems.
your use of blam and kapow, because you've made this into a violent act, a sort of fight. And I don't know if fighting is the correct perspective to approaching your problems. Or the problems of others. Perhaps we need to reevaluate that. That's not one of our things, but we should maybe reconsider.
Pretty dang set in their ways.
Once I'm on, now I'm on a roll.
You know Andy still uses a
I'm going off
I
script.
can't get that gorgeous man to see the light. Keep it up, cowboy.
It's
You're a breath of
aesthetic,
fresh air for these
typewriters.
ancient ones.
Anyone
You know how
ever tell
expensive
you
they
you're
are
wise
to get like a
beyond your
vintage
years,
typewriter?
Crimson?
But they're also
You
really
must have had
expensive to
some
upkeep
life.
too. The
Afraid
ribbon and
I'm
stuff.
exactly as wise as my years. How old do you think I am, cowboy?
Ooh, we're not gonna answer. We're not gonna
I'm
fall
gonna
for
do the
it.
gentlemanly thing and not hazard a guess.
Nope.
You would have gotten it wrong anyway. I'm 50 years young.
Oh,
50? I died around that age and I looked like shit. But you ain't a vampire.
Like I told you, I'm Andy's blood partner. He shares his blood with me too, just not enough to turn me into one of you.
just say you keep in shape. You got good skincare, all that stuff, right? Don't disqualify the positive. It's
I've
not
been
just
30
because
for
he
a
gives
good
you
while
his
now.
blood.
But you ain't joining our team? Sounds like a story.
Not for tonight.
Not
Buckaroo.
everyone wants to be a
I'm
vampire,
kinda
man.
thirsty after a big night. Andy told me to give this to you.
Oh yeah? What is it?
Like, dude, that'd actually be way better if you had someone who could keep you young. Like, she said she's, like, 30. So she's still, like, biologically 30, right? Like, that's way cooler than, like, committing to, like, the vampire life and immortality. Is just, like, hang on to a vampire and just have him keep you young, right? Like, that's the ticket. That's the ticket right
We
there.
had a group of Americans come in last week who donated their blood. Andy can't stand the stuff. He says the blood glucose levels are too high, but he thought you'd appreciate it.
Other people eat a lot of sugar, too, or a lot of other, like, carbs. It's not just American.
Oh, it ain't so bad. I gotta ask though, what does Andy's blood taste like?
To me, it tastes like life itself, cowboy.
I ain't sure I understand.
Never you mind. Look, Tex, I've got some customers to serve, so go enjoy
That sounds
your
like
juice,
romantic,
okay?
but in a, like, disingenuous romantic way.
Oh, of
But-
course. I'm keen to get some rest anyway. You have yourself a fine night, Crimson.
There he is, my incredible
Alright,
protege.
I think we're gonna end it here. This is a good place to checkpoint, reach, save. Yes, we want it in there, please. Return. We're gonna exit. Yes. Yeah, okay. Alright. yeah, so that's gonna be it for tonight. I think a little a little bit of a frustrating stream. Especially since we didn't get to play the games that I wanted to play. But we eventually got a good one that was kind of interesting, and I don't know. I'm gonna try and see if I can have The Sims working for next stream maybe, or have something else planned for next stream. But if not, we kind of have this. This will be like in our back pocket, right? For a rainy day. If something else doesn't work, we might default to this one. But I kind of, you know, I don't know, want something else. I want something else. So I'm gonna try to get The Sims working. I think I just need time to, get everything together and double check everything. And I've installed so many mods and troubleshooted the mods and all the stuff for The Sims so many times before. Stardew Valley's a little bit harder, right? Those mods, I have some broken mods in there, even after I only streamed it twice. And like literally days later, some of the other mods were already broken. So I Stardew Valley, I would have to have a lot fixed to, and I'm less familiar with modding Stardew Valley. That one's actually a little bit harder because you have to like uh the mods are so much more complicated, right? To like run and see in the command prompts and stuff like that, like and actually pay attention to all the errors you get and things. In some ways, it's nice because it tells you exactly what mods are broken. But The Sims, you never know what mod's broken. You just have to try them out, mix and match until you take out the one that makes it work and stuff. So it's a little frustrating, um, if you kind of just start small and slowly add them in, it's like I said, I'm used to it, so it's fine. But um and at least script mods usually are just the issue. Usually CC isn't a game breaking issue, at least. So you can kind of just go into the game and see what CC is working and what isn't, and then it's not too bad. Um, but yeah, so we'll see. Next stream is on Tuesday, so tomorrow off again. Tomorrow's one of my days off. Now we're returning to our normal streaming schedule. Um, so I'll be doing other stuff, working on things, trying to pick stuff up for stream or working around. So I'll be, hanging around the internet as well. So you can follow me in those other places on Twitter and Blue Sky and YouTube, uploading stuff, of course, my VODs to YouTube. Almost caught up with all of them. And my Discord, be hanging around my Discord. Link is around in places in my bio in different places and on Twitter and Blue Sky posted somewhere. And the link might still work, so who knows. And then but make sure you try to get in before the link breaks. It's set to never expire, but it hasn't been the case in the past. So snatch up your opportunity while you can, um to get in on that server before it breaks. The server won't break, the link might. So it's what you want to take your opportunity while you can. What else? What else? Oh yeah, and Instagram I have, and TikTok, but I'm not a big fan of either. I used to be more into TikTok, but feeling a little less into it lately, to be honest. But yeah, both of those are around as well. But most of the stuff from those just goes on to YouTube Shorts. So um what else? What else? Yeah, I think that's it. Thanks everyone for hanging around. And oh yeah, and I'm doing writing stuff. So again, I'm doing not NaNoWriMo this month. So that's all what I'll be kind of doing as I'm hanging around on my other socials in the evenings and for a good portion of the day tomorrow actually. Because we have like um a lot of people at work tomorrow are working polls and stuff. So we actually have most of the day off tomorrow, which is nice. So not on election day, oddly enough. I think they just wanted to make it like a 3-day weekend. And rather than have like just the Tuesday off, they really like pushing our days off to weekends if possible. So I think that's why they kind of did that. But with early voting and stuff, it makes sense. Um, so yeah, you don't, they were like, you can probably vote ahead of them. It's fine. And since a lot of people were working the polls over the weekend, and they were kind of like, yeah. So I have most of the day for tomorrow. So I'll be around for a lot of the day. I'll be writing and working on other stuff for stream. I have so much stuff that I want to do. My gosh. Um, and now that like I'm less busy with the October stuff I was doing, now I'm kind of like, okay, now I have time to do the other stuff I was doing, but I kind of forget that I the other stuff to do is a lot. So I still don't have enough time for absolutely everything, to be fair, or energy for absolutely everything. Um, so try my best and doing stuff. But anyway, but I'll be around a lot of tomorrow. Um, but no stream tomorrow though. And then Tuesday I will be back 5 o'clock ideally, but it might take me a while to get back into being on time just because I got so thrown off schedule when I was streaming every day. So hopefully 5 to 9, but we'll see. Try to make that hit though. And then Thursday as well, Wednesday off, Friday off, and then Spooky Saturday at the end of the week. So that's the schedule that we have going on. Not sure what games we'll play. So like I said, we'll kind of see what I can make work. Apparently, it's not as easy as you think. But yeah, and it also doesn't help that I'm trying to take a break from horror games, which turns out is a good portion of the games. But that and city builder games and stuff that would be really boring to watch. um, so yeah. But yeah, and so what I'm doing is I'm working around. I'm doing not NaNoWriMo because NaNoWriMo sucks and has a lot of problems, and you can look into it. But I am still trying to write a novel, or at least 50,000 words of a novel in the month of November, which is the old NaNoWriMo challenge. And I want a novel about my lore, which would be good. And so I'm kind of excited for that. I've been working on that. I'm a little bit behind, but hopefully I'll have a lot of time here this evening and tomorrow to I don't know how much this evening. Um, I've been getting pretty okay sleep the past few nights, so I'm feeling pretty good, but I don't want to kind of set myself up for a bad sleep schedule tonight. Um, because this morning I like so it's really, really windy, right? And there's something outside that like keeps knocking on the wall, like bang, 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 right? I don't know what it is, but something, and it's very loud, and it like woke me up at like 5:50 this morning, and I couldn't. It took me like an hour to get back to sleep, but once like, and then even then I didn't get back to sleep. I kind of just dozed in and out throughout the morning, and but like it definitely interrupted my sleep a lot. So that was kind of unfortunate. But at least I slept really well, right? I was like in a pretty good mood when I went to sleep. So around like I don't know when I went to sleep, 1:30 or so, between 1:30 and 2, and then I was in a pretty good mood. So at least I slept nicely. So but mm, but yeah, but I kind of wish like I don't know. Kind of wish it wasn't quite so noisy. I need to I think maybe get used to that when it's windy, the bang 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 bang. It's not so bad when I'm awake, but it's been doing it as I've been streaming here tonight too, and it's a little bit distracting. But yeah. So, I don't know how much work I'll get done tonight. We'll see. Uh, what else? What else? Oh yeah, but tomorrow hopefully I'll be doing a lot of writing. But it's for anyone. You can join Not NaNoWriMo now that we're kind of breaking free from the chains of the NaNoWriMo plan. Like anyone who does anything creative can kind of join me as well. And just feel it's not like there's anything to really join, but you can just feel good. That you're uh, kind of bonding, kind of like a companionship, right? To both to everyone working on creative things at the same time, right? It feels nice to kind of um have that camaraderie, right? So that's what November is working on creative stuff. So everyone work hard. And that's what I'll be doing, working hard on stuff too. So hopefully that helps. If whatever you're working on, know that I'm also working hard on stuff too, on my writing and things. And good luck to whatever anyone else might be working on. And if you um want to share what you're working on, you can stop by the Discord and share. I'll be around in the cafe vibes hangout, and that's a good place for it because that's like working at a cafe, right? You're all kind of hanging out and working around, and so that's where I am. But on Twitter and Blue Sky is also good places too, and you can share what you're doing, and that'd be cool. And I'll sometimes talk about what I'm working on a little bit without any spoilers, of course. Um, and but yeah, so that's the thing. Join in doing not NaNoWriMo, or you don't have to call it that either. Just if you want to talk about what creative things you're doing. Um, Anyway, but yeah, that should be it. So thanks everyone for hanging out, for chatting, and for lurking. And thanks for anyone watching the VOD. I appreciate you too, even if you can't be here at the stream. And yeah, I think that's it. Thanks for keeping me company. And for good chats and good talkings and everything like that. It was a really good stream. So um and again, yeah, the all thoughts and opinions are just my own. I don't speak for anyone else. Just trying to do my part for what it's worth. I don't want to, overstep or anything. So, um, but yeah, I will see you guys around, and I'll be back for stream on Tuesday. So have a good couple days. Goodbye, goodbye.